Hail, hail, and welcome to the HomeBhoys Live podcast. It is Friday, the 28th of February. I'm, of course, Joe McKenna. We are back, and we have a lot to talk about. The name of this podcast is This Last Week. A lot has happened. In the words of Vladimir Lenin, he said about politics, he said there are decades when nothing happens, and then there are weeks when decades happen. And that feels like the way Scottish football's been this week. I am joined by the always there, always ready, Jason Higgins in Wishaw.
Hail, hail.
Hell yeah, bro. You good?
I'm good. How are you, mate?
I'm good. It's Friday night. It's been a long, busy week. We're joined by another guy who's this week his username is Zelensky's Coke Dealer. The man himself. He's back in the fold. The Lisburn Lion. The man they call the man who lives in a middle class kind of somewhat Protestant neighborhood, and they call him the Fingin' Oil Spill because since he arrived, the fuckers are everywhere. The man, the only Marty Flynn.
Yes, and just to reflect on your previous quote, I will be taking the quote of Harold Macmillan, famed British Prime Minister. Events, dear boy, events. That's what we have been facing, events.
Events indeed. We may be joined by Scott McCory and Liam Parr at some point, but at the minute they are in the wind.
Indisposed.
So we've got to talk about, I suppose, the two games that happened in the week just gone, which would have been Hibs last week, and we'll get down to that in a second. And then there was Aberdeen, which we held during the week. And, of course, the other movements and shakements in Scottish football over the week. Shakements, there you go. It's a brand new HomeBhoys word.
I like that. When you said movement, you just panicked, didn't you? You froze.
I panicked. I was like, you know what? Doesn't matter. People have heard worse shit in this show. I can fucking say what I want.
Shakements, what the fuck?
Shakements, I mean.
I remember seeing him top that pop, Shakeman Stevens.
Shakeman Stevens.
Shake my shabby, they'll wind the clean up.
There's an old piano and it plays all night behind the green door.
Oh, green door. This old house.
Oh,
Tell you, the young team must love this podcast.
Right up their street. What the fuck? Right up their boulevard.
I tell you, you get what you pay for on this show. So, I suppose we're back, and normally we always do a bit of a check-in with everybody. I mean, in terms of there's not much housekeeping to be done this week, but we always like to start off with somebody that's been at the game. And the Hibs game last week, right? Just to say, today there was an announcement that Dyson's equaliser should have stood. Right? Should I read a strongly worded email to Paddy Parr?
Oh, for your fucking rumpled up bet.
From a bet that got fucked.
No, Jovis, what you should do is, what you should do is work out the odds and send an invoice to the SFA.
That's what I should do. It's my action.
Care of Alan Moore.
Anyway, fucking that's. But I ended up fucking getting two winners of the horses this week. So fuck you, Paddy Parr. Fuck you, Alan Moore too. So anyway, Jimbo, the only man who's at the game who's on here tonight is you.
aye.
And I mean, I thought it was a tough game. But I didn't expect what happened.
I had doubts. I mind walking the dog in the morning before we went and get the train. I was talking to one of the boys out of the park. He used to go years ago. And I was saying, I was looking at the Fitbit, and normally Celtic, when they're playing away from home in the SPL, apart from when we're going to Ibrox, Celtic are normally 1-3, 1-4. And we were 1-2. And obviously, the bookies aren't daft either, because massive European hangover. You know, if you go for the Heights, they're playing in the Olympic Stadium in Munich, or whatever the Alliance Arena it's called now. You go for the Heights there, and the utter pressure the players were under, and they gave it their all, and then you're back down to earth with an SPL game early on a Saturday. There kind of is a bit of a hangover, and then you add into the fact he's made the changes, you know, he's brought in Luke McCowan, he started with Adam Ider. And so Taylor as well. So he obviously started with Schlupp, Germany. So he made 3 changes. So it was, and then obviously kick-off, I don't know, was it the first or second minute they scored, and just our defence just fucking opened like the Red Sea, and you're 1-0 down, and fuck. And I'll tell you one thing, see by the end of the first half, we were lucky, well, they were well worth their 2-0, they could have been 3-0 up. You know, we didn't really make many chances, but then you bring the 3 subs on at half time, and there definitely was a difference, you know, and we were the better team by far in the second half. Maeda gets a goal that probably only Maeda gets, no with the reaction, and then he gets another goal, and I'm at the back of the bottom tier, and I'm saying to them, 100% that's in, never, no danger is that ball out, and gives a goal, and then fucking it's ruled out, and then guys have all got their phones at the game and they're showing you, and they're seeing replays, and you're like, that fucking ball was never out. And obviously, it wasn't out. Or you couldn't tell it was out. So, as the rules of the game goes, if there's no obvious error, you go with the on-field decision. And Mr. Muir didn't. And obviously, he's been found to be a wrong one. And so just, I thought he played well in the second half, but it is a bit kind of, no worrying, but it's like kind of lets you know that our bench is no great. And big Ida, he's trying his heart out, and you know he's doing the runs, but it's just kind of no fun for him. And I just didn't think we were kind of at the races, and the Hibs were the better team by far in the first half. I thought in the second half we were really good when he brought on Jota, Schlupp, and Hatate, and we had a far more bit about us. And I thought if that goal had went in, we would have on get the winner. But it wasn't to be, and it was a bit of a sore one until later on that day, and it became a beautiful Saturday. But it was a bit of a fucking. I'll give you my wee stories after we get through the game for the day. But that was my kind of, wasn't majorly surprised. Obviously, you're surprised Celtic getting beat, right? Because we don't get beat very often in Scotland. But Brendan Rodgers hasn't got a great record at Easter Road, and
Easter Road's been a fucking graveyard for us, really, for about 10 years. Even I remember tough games under Lennon and stuff too. It's never really somewhere we go and put 8 goals by or whatever.
Aye.
It's a tough place to go, like.
Aye. We've had a few outliers where we've absolutely thumped them. We've had a few, but I've seen us get beat up there loads. You're right,
even
in the last 10 years.
Even draws. Even go back to when Marty was there, I remember being at Hibs winning 3-1, but fuck, we worked for it. It was a tough game. Like.
Aye. And the thing is, I think they were 13 unbeaten before they started that game, or was it 12 unbeaten before us?
The radio preview, actually, I can't remember who was on, but the guy whoever did the fucking preview last week said, that's it, look, Hibs are in great form here, and Celtic would need to watch. Fuck, 100% right, we fucking did. I didn't expect us to lose the goal so quick. Do you know what I mean?
I know.
Like, out of the traps, that's always a fucking ball buster when that happens, like, you know, but...
I know.
For fuck's sake.
Aye.
But see, to be honest, that's the result that you get during a Champions League campaign, and it's unbelievable that result hasn't happened somewhere along the line. You know, we're in spring before we got a bloody nose like that. So, obviously we're way clear in the league. So even without results elsewhere, it wouldn't have been, you know, an abject disaster. It would have been a pain in the fucking arse. But you know, there's enough fat in the system to absorb a result like that at this time of year, which is fucking great. It's a great position to be in. But Champions League games are so tough, or Champions League campaigns are so tough, and you do need to drag yourself through the matches that week. Like Roger says about the match, they had a beer and all after the match. What the fuck time did they get to bed? If they slept at all, do you know what I mean? They were probably traveling overnight. They probably just got the plane home at 2 a.m. or something. You know, they would do that at times. I'm not sure, but it's bound to take its toll. And just as you said, our squad's really thin.
Aye.
Do you know what I mean? We have a tremendous first team, but there's them kids on the bench now, and you need them. Do you know what I mean? And we don't really have that many injury problems either. Do you know what I mean? Only really James Forrest
really.
So it shows you that the squad is small. So, and that's what Rodgers has been banging out about. banging on about. He doesn't want a big squad. He wants a fucking small squad of really high quality, and that has risks too. So look, we all want that, but you know, it comes with its own risks as well.
But if we spoke about it last week, Marty, I know, but it's like if you're to keep all these players, I don't think they will. I think we'll lose maybe one or two. I think two possibly, but you're then talking. You need to get 6 in because we need another 4 players.
Yeah,
you know, and to build that squad up.
I'm not so sure we'll lose players this year because in any year, you know, you're cashing in really to keep ahead of the game, but we have so much money, and we're nowhere near like fair play fucking difficulties or anything like that. So we can afford to cope, and we can afford to invest. So I actually think you could see some players getting better deals. Do you know what I mean? Because Lawwell and that.
I kind of agree with that, but what I'm saying is if the big bids come in, you know, with the Celtic model,
well, this is the thing. If the bids are eye-watering, then fair enough. And nobody can argue because you'd be going, well, fuck me, you can't knock that sort of money back. If you're getting 30, 40, 50 million for somebody, they're out the fucking door.
Yeah.
But the point is that the whole worries about the wage, the wage limits getting too much, you know, having too big a wage bill, that then puts you under, you know, if you don't get the Champions League and you're under pressure and stuff like that. But that's much easier to deal with if you've got really high paid players who have a sell-on value, because you just fucking sell them. Yeah. You know what I mean? If it gets into that. Whereas if you think about it, years ago, we give big deals to Sutton, Thompson, and fucking a Gat and fucking at the fucking end of their career. So if you're giving somebody like Kuhn an extended deal, and they did it with Maeda, they gave him a deal 2 years ago. Do you know what I mean? They extended him out. Then it makes fucking sense. Beef out the wage bill, get into the Champions League, recoup the money, and as you say, if you've got a blockbuster deal, fuck, you'll take it, and then again that gives you the money to reinvest in players. But also too, it takes the sweat off because you can pay your players more to keep them happy. And again, that's Roger's point. Why are we paying all these guys to hang about? You know, pay your good players lots of money and keep them there. So there's a bit of a step change coming. Now, obviously, the board haven't announced this as some sort of fucking policy change, but you can kind of see it happening in real time if you're watching close enough.
That's interesting. I haven't really thought about it like that, but it's interesting to see that. Like,
and the other thing is too is when that wee lad Bonner, you know, came on too. Rodgers was really fulsome in his praise of him, and that's not usually what happens with youth players. They usually sort of pat them on the back and say, "Look, it's a big step up, and we're not hanging the whole fucking team on him here. It's just to give him a chance to get into the squad and have a look around, all that sort of stuff." Rodgers was saying the other day, "This guy's great, showed up brilliant, you know, plenty of ability, and belongs here." And I was like, "Fuck." You know, it's not often you hear managers talking about youth players like that. So, again, I found that interesting as well. But as I say, the Hibs result, first of all, Hibs were fucking excellent. The press was the whole way. We looked a bit lethargic. And it was one of them games that could have won, you know, 5 minutes later, or as I'm sure we'll fucking speak about, another fucking decision. And the game could have went our way, even so. Do you know what I mean? So, it's not the fucking disaster, I think, that it may have been, thank God.
Yep. What about you, Joe?
Yeah, no, I watched it. I mean, here's the thing, right? I think you can get a European hangover from getting fucking hammered by Dortmund as well. But I mean, so to kind of go away to Bayern and put up what we put up, to come back from the way it all went down, and from how they went out, see to even get 2-2 in that game would have been actually a great achievement. So, like, I can kind of sort of almost take a wee bit of sort of pride and going, like, you know, I can understand how maybe you can't put in the best performance following something like that there. I mean, and how you can kind of maybe be impacted or affected by that, but still to kind of go out there and play the same kind of football they can play. I thought Hibs, again, you're right, Jason, could have been 3-0 up. Well worth their 2-0 at half time. But at half time, that's what I placed my bet. I said, Daisan's going to get 2. Daisan will not. He will not let this rest. Again, Asian bad guy in a fucking movie. He's coming to get you. I mean, has like fucking stick 5 quid on Daisan getting two goals. Fucking 20 to 1. No problem. And then to be denied fucking first off the equaliser and then the 100 fucking quid. I was like, bastard. I mean, but second half they went out and they kind of stepped it up a bit. I mean, and they showed the team they could be. See with the youth thing you mentioned there as well. Do you think it's taken to this point and this amount of time with Rodgers being back for it to get to that stage where he can bring in the best of the best and he can funnel the best out of the youth, out of the academies, up to the first team? Do you think that's what it's taken? It's taken him to have to go kind of root and branch when it comes down to developing players. Go down himself and go, listen, this is how we're going to do it now. To bring these guys through that he truly believes in.
I don't really know. I don't know, because we've said before, it seems like a busted flusher, youth. But and for the 10 minutes that I seen the guy, young lad Bonner, he did look really good. He's a big unit, and he looked comfortable in the ball. He was a wee bit like the press and that wasn't great, but obviously that would come because it's just he just. But any time he got a touch in that, he was very, very assured on the ball, and he looked as if he had a wee bit about him. But as I say, you're only seen him for 10 minutes, so you can't really tell. But that's good to hear that Rodgers is kind of fully his praise.
He fucking was. I was bumming them up 100%. And as I say, that's not really the norm. Usually they kind of protect young players by saying, well, we're just, he's up now and having a wee look around him, and we'll look after him and whatever else. But he was fulsome in his praise, and he's going, no, he's ready. So, and look, from our perspective too, we want to see these players now towards the end of the season as well, because you want to keep the squad fresh, and you want to rotate and give players like give players like Maida a rest and fucking Kuhn a rest and whatever else, because we still have a hell of a fucking lot of football to go here between two competitions. So it's.
And the thing is as well, the beauty is having the buffer of the lead. You can bring players on, and the best is when you're getting into a winning team, a confident team that's playing well. When you bring these kids in, it's a hell of a lot easier to settle in than it is get them in. Fucking the crowd's on your back and you're baying for blood.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
100%. And see, the thing is too, if the way the young players coming in is great and whatever else, but if you think about it too, we have been so fucking lucky with injuries this year. Really, nobody has been injured apart from Forrest for any length of time. So and if you look back, when Ange Postecoglou was here, every comp was injured, and then you were having to rely on these players, and that's how Ben Doak came to be fucking seen when he scored. Was it Motherwell that day he scored? So it has been to me, that's the difference between Rodgers and Postecoglou. The way Rodgers has managed that squad this year, he is absolutely fucking elite at what he does. And see, like all that, like the whole fucking thing, when the Huns were talking about sports science and all, this is how sports science is supposed to work. Exactly what Brendan Rodgers is doing. Now, hasn't always worked. There's been niggles here and players maybe who have been below par, they're here and there and whatever else. But if you look at the overall season, fuck me. Do you know what I mean? We're over a dozen points ahead in the league. It's not even March. We've got really a full squad, a full deck to deal almost every game. And this is even after weeding out players on loan and that sort of thing. Like, it has been a fucking stunning bit of work over the course of the year. I have to say, like, I said it to you a couple of weeks ago, I think it's one of the best years ever, like, to be a Celtic fan. Like, the way having that, especially with the Champions League being extended out into January, because we'd usually be out by fucking Christmas. You know what I mean? So you just have to focus on the domestic competitions. If you're out of the Europa League or whatever the fuck, which happened many times. So it has really been fairly stunning, and it also probably, because who was it? Maybe Scott was talking about it recently. He was saying he was listening to something, and one of the players was saying, "Look, there's never a time when and during a season when everybody's fit, everybody's injured. Everybody has a wee niggle or a knock or something and that has to be the case with our squad. But everybody is just powering through, and working away. So look." A result like the one on Saturday I think is a bit forgivable. I don't think anybody, that's your thing too, I don't think any of our fans lost their shit, really, the way sometimes they do. There was a sort of a shoulder shrug, and then it was back to normal during the week.
So I'll give you a wee laugh. So Saturday, right, so me and Mick get the train up, and we met Sean at Waverley. And Big Cookie was on the train as well. So Big Cookie, he had a ticket in the Hibs end. He met his mate Andy, it's a Hibs fan. He got him a ticket, and the blessed Mark got Paul and Mick come up for Liverpool. Wigan Mick and Paul Scouser, they come up. He got them tickets, and they got a mate of mine, John, that sits next to us with season ticket. He got him a ticket in the Hibs end. So we went up on the train, and the blessed Davy Hood, you all know Davy Hood. Davy's the guy that's got the Celtic ski hat on all the time. He always wears the training jacket and the Celtic bobble hat. He doesn't go to away European games now, but everywhere. Davy was giving us a laugh on the way up on the train. there's this guy, I'm not too sure who it is, and there's loads of the YouTubers now, but there's this guy who gives a fucking video on the roughest pubs in Scotland, the roughest pubs in Britain and all that. Some Mancunian. Have you seen him?
No,
but I want to find out where he is. I want to watch that shit. I love that stuff.
I said, Andy said, I need to find it, right? So David drinks the Sarri Heat every Sunday. So this guy's coming, fucking video, and Davey says, the pub. And he says, I'm at a table with 5 guys. One's got a dodgy leg. He says, I'm fucking Davey's a gardener. Davey's just a wee guy. He's fucking. So he says, there's 5 of you sitting there, and the boys came and joined the company. He's like, I'm fucking rough in here. And he's like, what are you talking about? 5 old guys fucking sitting babying away. Oh, it's fucking rough in here. The guys make a documentary. You gotta look at it. Because
he's waiting on Danny Dyer popping up for bed.
I'm fucking shaking.
Fucking crazy. We're in the fucking Saracen head in Glasgow, and I am not afraid to say I am fucking shitting myself.
I mean, Davey says, no long after the guys put up on his fucking YouTube channel, Davey says, I've had about 40 messages at folk. How can you in this guy's video? Davey says the pub was empty, Davey's bothered the whole of it.
This is Davey the gardener, because he clips roses, if you know what I mean.
Davey the gardener, otherwise known as Davey the weed.
Davy's a fucking legend, man.
Oh my god! It shows you. It just shows you again. Fucking YouTube, you can make anything look fucking.
Oh fucking hell!
Oh, brilliant.
So anyway, so
we'll
go up to the game, right? And our mate James, a Hibs fan, he met us at Waverley and all. So it was a load of us. So we walked down Leith Walk and we went into a boozer and got a couple of pints there. Then I headed round to the game and by the way, we're in a boozer. They're all Hibs fans, but they're all fucking Republicans and that. How can this Hibs fan come in with the fucking poppy and the hat and the fucking poppy badge and I'm like, what the fuck? Aye, okay. I know you say it's fucking February, what's going on here? Obviously just your own because they're playing us, you know. Oh. And we walked out the pub and mixed like, see if you'd shoot that boy's horn. I was never talking to you again. I just got upside. So anyway, we went down and we went into the game. So we're standing there, me and Mick Liam stood together at the bottom tier. And so next time I got a text from my mate John. So Mark always gets at the top of the main stand, the top bit. And John's got a big white jacket on. So he's like, I'm in the front. I knew he was in the front row. He says, I'm sitting here. I says, I can see you, mate. So I'm waving. I says, I'm at the back corner in the bottom tier. And he wasn't waving back. So this guy was in his ear, this Hibs fan. And John came round to the Hibs club after and got a pint. And he says, that guy was a fucking nightmare. He's like, I fucking hate these bastards. I hate them more than Rangers. And John says, he's in his fucking ear. And then Hibs scored. So John's up, gave it the clap and all that to try and blend in. And then, but when the second goal went in, John just sat there and says, fuck you. He says, I was doing my fucking nothing. But that was funny looking over there. But so that was it. And then we went out. I left like it was 7 or 8 minutes. 8 minutes added on, so we kind of left at 97 minutes. So we're walking around kind of by the main stand, just as we get out the final whistle went, and we're walking by the main stand, and no sunshine and Leith come on. That was fucking that's an amazing song. But anyway, so we're walking around to get into the Hibs club. So me and Liam and Mick, and then Mick's like, I'm not going in. I'm like, how fuck that get in with the cunts fucking. I'm like, we get in there all the time and we win and they're all right with you know, it's, you can't do that. Fuck that, fuck them. I'm not getting in. We're a wee and a half away up to Edinburgh, so. So we went in, but it was funny. Me and Liam walked down the corner, right? And you go down the hill, you get into it, and then you turn left, and there's about 7 of them out having a fag. And the Celtic fans are all walking over that bridge and they're all fucking shouting, get up, easy that. I'm like, oh, for fuck's sake. But they were all shouting, like, that's us, Bayern, Bayern, Munich, and here cunts. So we went in and we got a bit of ribbon sort of thing, but they were all right. And that was it. So we sat there, ended up a good table. Is Scott came in with 3 of his mates. Sean came in, me, Big John, Liam. And then Matt Stratton obviously came in and Mick and Paul. So it was good. So we stayed in there, had a good few pints in there, and then we went up to some pub at the top Easter Road. God, I can't even mind the name of it. You get to the top Easter Road and turn left, and it's just there. It's a right nice pub. It's like a big horseshoe bar in the middle of it. So we were in there, and as we get in, St Mirren had went 1-0 up. We were like, fucking 1-0 to St Mirren, right? So that was it. But they put the rugby on, so there's loads watching the rugby. So I would say in the pub, it's maybe about 50% watching the rugby, about 40% Hibs fans and 10% Celtic supporters. So we're all there, and then it came up goal flash, and nobody was looking at their phones or anything, and nobody was really asked about their result. And then it came up goal flash at Ibrox, and everybody's like, it's got to be 1-8 here, isn't it? And it just came up, Rangers 0, St Mirren 2, the fucking pub erupted. And fucking, the Hibs fans are on there, they're when the sides come up. They're all watching all the rugby poking, like, what the fuck's going on here? But, so that was good. So we stayed in there for a couple of hours, and then went up and got a train home. But good wee day.
Sounds like a fucking grand day.
It was all's well that ends well. So
I must say, I like Edinburgh. It's a good fucking town to get drunk in.
Aye. You know, there is kind of a wee buzz about the place. You know, all the pubs are mobbed. See, on a Saturday afternoon and that, you're getting in and there's plenty of tourists kicking about. It was a lovely day. Sun was splitting the trees. You know, it was still cold, but it was a cracking day. So we had a ball, man. It was a right good day.
That's right. Took your fucking the Abrax result just took. You know what I mean? It just took away all the problems from earlier on. You're like, fucking hell.
Totally.
This is going to be the only fucking story they need. You know,
that was the thing, and it totally changed any kind of tone of what was coming the next day. That's
right.
Poor Felipe, peace be upon him.
And the thing is, it's funny how things work out, because see, if they had won, he would still be in the job they know. You know?
100%. Or even if they had a drew. If they had a drew, they probably would have still kept them. Because your mum was out last week, and I know the fucking... Like, traditionally, it was always the kiss of death. You know, as soon as you got the dreaded vote of confidence from the board, you knew you had to look for another job right away. But I actually think the Huns were serious. They wanted him to stay. You know, that they didn't want to sack him. And they were hoping to break this fucking cycle of sacking managers and paying them off and, you know, having more money to waste. So there now, they paid off Clement and all his fucking staff. And they've had to take on 5 coaches. So even if those coaches are on like a basic coaching wage, it fucks them entirely, because they're still paying Clement and they're still paying all his mates. Do you know what I mean? So I genuinely think that they did not want to do that. They just didn't. But their fucking hand was forced when they saw that Ibrox crowd. You knew what was coming, like.
Aye. Enough of them. Fuck them.
Yeah, fucking shit. I can't.
On to Aberdeen, Joe.
All the Aberdeen.
I'm just going to go and pour another beer here. Keep you going.
Go for it.
Do we not want to do? Are we bit of laughing? No.
What's that?
We don't want to do. Are we bit of laughing at the Huns?
Oh, yeah, if you want, mate. Carry on. Indulge yourself.
No, it was just like the story ended there. Clement was sacked. I'm kind of like, well, then they did what they always do: to break glass and go to staunch. I mean,
the blue smoke came out of Ibrox.
Oh,
the conclave.
Fuck.
Aye. Revert to type. Fucking hell. How did they pick the fucking 4 out? You know,
do you know what though? Do you know what sealed it for me? Was the Trump moment for me? The orange Ford Ranger that he arrived in. It's like you could not make that shit up.
And you just know he's not comfortable in a shirt and tie. Do you know what I mean? Aye, fucking let them carry on, you know. I was at a meeting with the Tommy Gemmell at the statue and that on Wednesday night, and fucking they were 2-0 down. We were on the King Run. The time I got in the motor, it was 2-1, but I couldn't fucking believe it. They're 2-0 down. I was listening to the radio, like, it could be 3 or 4 here, but they obviously turned it around and whatever. But we'll wait and see how it goes with them. You know, it could work out for them. I don't know. You know, fuck knows. But I don't really care too much.
I don't care, but it's just it's almost like a kind of sideshow that I can't keep my eye off. Going like, what the fuck? Who they get? What?
Really?
That's fucking the pundit loyal. I mean, fuck's it.
Fucking hell. It's at the end of the day, the cheap option for them anyway. You know, it's all they could have really got. You know, they wouldn't be. Obviously, if this the funny thing, that takeover thing's went deathly silent, hasn't it? You know.
Aye, that was that fell off a cliff pretty quick, didn't it?
Yeah. So, aye, let them carry on. Let them carry on.
Somebody had one up the other day. It was Clement sitting there. Glasgow P45ers. That's pretty fun.
Oh no, they're just in a state, aren't they? So. Long may it continue.
Phenomenal.
Liam says you were in the Artisan.
Oh, that was the name of the pub, Artisan. So he's, why is he not? He's listening to the podcast, but he'll no come on. What's he up
Well,
to?
he fucking must be. What are you up to, Longshanks? Get your fucking head out of here.
Aye, there's a horse running the other day, Longshanks. I was thinking of putting a couple of quid on it, but I get fucking hump.
You think they're shooting
it? Aye. No, with a good day on Saturday, me and Liam and Scott had a rare old. Liam was going to be Mr. Sensible getting the bus through, and no, I'm gonna hang me. But he says, that was Thursday, so he came out and just pulled the pin and went for it. It was a great wee day. I've got my mate Jed and Big Jim and all that, with all the Hibs fans with us as well. They were good crack. They're just loving life, you know. And obviously they're getting the 7,000 fans now for the cup game, so that should be a cracking atmosphere. And tell you, I'm not taking it for granted. You know, that'll be a tough game. You know, you'd obviously fancy us strongly at home.
Well, here, absolutely. Surely Hibs are the form team. Fuck me, they've been. And here, it just goes to show you too. Like we've spoken about that a million times, like about having patience with players and giving people time and stuff like that. And they've done it with Gray, with the manager, and fuck me. I mean, he's walking on air now, and they were saying that they were saying the radio the other night that the Hibs AGM was during the week, and he got a standing ovation at the AGM. Right. Whereas a couple of months ago they were like, "Need to get this cunt out the fuck." And I think his status as like a club legend saved his bacon. I think if he had been an ordinary Joe,
I would agree with you, because they all love him, you know. And they were even singing his name. Seeing they were going through the doldrums when they were struggling, you know, they were still singing his name. And I think I forgot to mention a fair play to the Hibs, the Ultras, before the game with the show Israel the red card.
Absolutely,
absolutely.
No, 100%, absolutely. And funny, I'm in Ireland. Obviously, Harper's at the match tonight in Toka Park, and Shelbourne did exactly the same thing this evening. And I'm actually just watching it now here, and down at the corner flag, there's a big fucking massive Palestine flag. So again, fair play to the Green Brigade. They have.
Oh, they certainly have. And
set the firmament alight.
There was a few Hibs fans weren't happy with it. I heard a couple of them mentioning it. Mace were absolutely behind it, but there was a few of them.
But I remember Gavin, or not Gavin, what do you call your mate, Striker? Mark. I remember Mark talking to us about that a few years ago, and he was saying about the young Hibs. They're very, very politically aware, very historically aware. There was a whole like coterie of young people coming through who were fucking with it, and you know, it's great to see at a different club. You know, it's alright us doing it on our own, but now it kind of shows that there is a broader
flag behind the goals with a tricolour and a Palestine flag on it, and the other Palestine flags dotted about. So
absolutely great to see. And like we sort of look down on Hibs sometimes, but we shouldn't. Do you know what I mean? They are a storied Scottish club. They were in existence before us, and it should be a source of pride, really, that another Irish club is doing so well in Scotland. It shouldn't, I'm a Celtic fan, but fuck me, it's in any year it wants Hibs to come fucking runners up.
And the interesting thing, Mark had a load of Irish Hibs fans or I didn't get a chance to blare them, but they were all sitting in the I don't know if I think we were in the bar, they were in the lounge, or they were in the function suite, we were in the bar, but no, the bit where we were in the bit where me and you were in, Mark, the time you were there.
The wee cozy, yeah.
Aye, they were in the other bit, but there was a full load of Irish Hibs fans had come out for the game. So they have got a support, and I don't think they would have that many, but they have got a support in Ireland.
There was a Hibs supporters club in Belfast too, like not that long ago. I don't think it probably doesn't exist now, but they do have a smattering of fans here and there. And listen, some of them they're doing just to be fucking eccentric, not to be not. They don't want to support fucking. It's just because it's not Celtic, and they hear. I'm like, knock yourselves out. That's not a problem. Fucking, I don't care. Bar me.
Do you know the ironic thing? See, Everton have got a right few Hibs supporters. Do you know why? See, because we sing "You'll Never Walk Alone."
Oh fuck!
Aye. They say fucking hate the Huns, but can't he fucking follow you singing that? So
fair enough. All right, I understand that too.
But no, great day, and it's my favourite away day, and we get treated well with them, and it's exactly the same when they come through to Glasgow. We'll meet them for a few beers and stuff like that. And as I say, 30 years ago, we were punching lumps at each other. And it's funny how the thing we change. And it's funny, Andy Blanche.
It's strange how Hibs had such a rough casual fucking thing outfit too. Now, I know nothing about casuals and all that, like, say, the life, but it was always like the Hibs casuals were fucking feared. Everybody knew them.
Oh, aye.
I have no background in that whatsoever, but fuck me, everybody knew about them,
Do you know the funny thing is, see, a load of them were Celtic supporters for Edinburgh, but they'd fully Hibs. Look, aye.
For the men's, or for the football?
Aye. Fucking the violence. But the funny thing was, me and Sean were sitting there, and Andy Blanche came in. He would be one of the main men sort of thing back in the day. And he came right over and shook Sean's hand. He's like, "How you doing, Sean? You all right?" And it's like, fuck. And obviously Jed and Big Jim and that were well into all that as well. We were up getting a blether with them and having a few pints with them. And it's like, how fucking things change. And they come through and we got a bevy with them in Glasgow as well. So
I think that's fucking great. Like,
you all grew up, we're all in our 50s and that now, and you're just like, there we go. It's
interesting too, right? And it's a wee bit like Scott's one-on-ones. That's what I really liked about Scott's one-on-ones, particularly when they just started, because you were actually finding out stuff about the club that you did not fucking know. And when you talk to Mark Strachan, so for example, we have a particular view on the flag incident in the 50s and all that, and it's been passed on, during the years that what was happening, Harry Swan, and they tried to close it down, all that sort of stuff. But it was fucking fascinating to hear it from a Hibs perspective. And we would have teased them about changing their badge, and removing the Irish elements from their badge and going with something quite anodyne, quite shite. Do you know what I mean? And all that sort of stuff too. So it's really interesting to hear their views on it, because some of them didn't appreciate it either. And, they weren't fucking happy about it, or some of them were saying, well, this is the reason why. There was actually there was a solid reason behind it, whether you liked it or not, and some of us didn't like it. So it's always good to find out. Like football people the world over, you can sit down and have your arm with football, man. Do you know what I mean? And even I've worked everywhere here. You know what I mean? I've worked in tons of different places, and even the Huns, I actually prefer to work with Huns, because you can talk to them about Scottish football. See, when you're working with Man United fans and Liverpool fans, you just want to fucking kill them.
You know
what I mean? They're just cunts. Do you know what I mean? And whereas a Huns fan, you can wind them up, or you can, you can say, "Here, what about that result?" Or you can, and he knows what you're fucking talking about. Whereas the English football fans don't fucking care. You don't exist to them.
What about Aston Villa fans?
Ew! Fuck them and all, Joe. Fuck them.
Are they winning? Is it still hang? Is it still 0-0? I noticed. I was watching a switchover from the Shelbourne match at half time, and I noticed that the Aston Villa have the big replica of the European Cup right in their fucking tunnel. Did you notice?
It's in the tunnel, Marty normally means. So we
Aye,
it when we were down there not long ago.
That's class. That's just here.
Yeah,
Look at
it's
that.
really good in a little box. Yeah, it's really cool.
So I just noticed at the net you saw that they did like they had one of them like spycam cameras in the fucking in the tunnel, and you could see it. Me fuckers, European Cup. Fuck me.
Yeah, it's cool. But they've got like a proper main stand sort of thing to do that sort of stuff, unlike us.
I know.
Just now.
I know.
How's things, Skip? You all right?
Pretty good, mate. Saw the guest list and I thought I'd better come on and talk some sense and truth. Balance it up a little bit.
There you go. There you go. So we never jumped onto Aberdeen, so we'll rewind back and give you Hibs, mate. Give us your impressions of the day, and I'm sure you'll back me up on Mick McGuinness's pettiness fucking after the game.
Yeah, he didn't deny the petty lip, in fairness to him, so you have to give him his.
He was fully upfront about it.
But my ball, and I'm going home. Fuck off.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, what you said was right, Jason. We've been there multiple times. You've been there far more than me, but we go there regularly when we pumped them. So you need to go and show your face and have a few pints with the boys. And other than the bit where we walked in, as I just heard you just died on the train back there, that was quite funny. All the abuse being dished out, but generally they're brand new in there. Do you know what I mean? There's a few bands in there, but nothing more than you expect anywhere else you go. And I don't know if you saw the guy, the boy that was wearing the Bayern Munich top, but it was about 25 stone, and the top was about a size 8 or a size 10. So,
was there a guy? I didn't see a guy wearing one. Was there a guy wearing the Bayern Munich top?
Yeah, boob tube, was it?
Scott will tell you, because Scott was sat kind of to your left, but then he could see the guy behind you. So the guy was about 25 stone with his Bayern Munich top on that didn't even get, just about got past his ribs. So, and some Celtic fan said to him, "Was that yours from when you were 12 or 13?" And he just
you got to get out of confidence, though. You got to get out of confidence.
Mate, you do. I mean, the fact he was giving us dogs abuse for losing to Bayern Munich after they beat us, you got to admire the front of them. Do you know what I mean?
Right. I thought it was funny when me and you walked in the
exactly.
Just to talk about the Rocky, the Celtic fans loads. We were like, fucking just juked in the door.
I was walking in. I was whistling Sunshine and Leith on the way in. I thought, keep the head down here.
Did I even hear Coldplay doing that?
Yeah.
Saw it last week.
Actually, really good. So it was.
Yeah, I saw that.
Can you believe the bass player is Scottish? I never heard Sunshine and Leith.
Yeah.
Well, he plays for fucking Coldplay, so I could believe that 1,000,000%.
That's pretty true.
Fuck me. But I was actually thinking about that. So, no way BBC 4 do Top of the Pops from a million years ago, and the Proclaimers were on the other week. What a fucking band. And they were brilliant at the time. It's strange that a band like that made such a big impact. It's so many hits. And such a quirky, sort of odd fucking background. Two twins, big specky cunts singing about fucking the hailing clearances. Fucking Ed Staden.
Do you know what they'd be now? They'd be on the X Factor now. If they were coming around now, like two fucking.
But you know what I mean? Like it's just fabulous. Like, and that song is wonderful. Like, really, really wonderful song.
It's beautiful, isn't it?
It's a bit of a Hibs love in the night. We need to pack us in the fucking head. We're going to get
I know,
but like, I mean, tell me this. I watched that cup final in, it was a fucking birthday, but it was a kid's birthday party out in fucking rural fucking North Dublin, and I was with the kids in the fucking and I was kind of meeting the kiddies that were in the party in the room, and I had the game on in the background. And fucking when they scored, I scored the bollocks at all the kids. Right? It was a fucking crying fest. Right? I went tonto just because they beat them, and two because it was Hibs. I mean, and it was also Alan Stubbs as the manager at the time. I mean, so
that was fucking magic. It was a great day, absolutely brilliant day.
Right.
So it was amazing day.
And I tell you, see with the flag thing, I've mentioned it before, but there was a guy I worked with, and he died a couple of years ago. God rest him, Big Frank, and he was like a Hibs fan, and I worked him in Edinburgh, but he wasn't keeping well, and they played Ross County in the cup final, and I says, get a couple of tickets, and I says, I'll take you. I says, get the train through to Motherwell, I'll pick you up, because he couldn't walk far and whatever. I says, I've got a mate that's got a parking permit near Hampden, so I went there, drove in, parked the car up, and we went in. So I'm in their end at the cup final against Ross County, and they end up getting beat 2-1. They brought it back to 1 each and get beat 2-1. And obviously that was the bottom arse, really, in the grand scheme of things, right? But you just felt devastated for them all. See, like, fucking. But see, as flags go, so loads of them had flags. Obviously, cup finals, the flag guys are selling outside. I'd say 90% of all the flags were the air and go bra.
Aye, you see that regularly, like in there.
90%. The full stadium was just decked in it. Tons of tricolours as well, but like the air and go bra flag was just
the go-to
unbelievable. Flag. Aye. Yeah. So for them to say they've forgot their Irish roots is a load of shite. You know what I mean?
No, I definitely think it had waned, but I definitely think it's coming back, and that's what Mark was. That's what Mark was saying, that the younger fans. Maybe it was to do with the troubles and stuff. Do you know what I mean? Maybe it was.
That's a fair point.
It's a wee bit of a fucking SDLP, like stoop down low and keep your head down, sort of fucking stuff going on, probably. Maybe. But and he was saying that that's not the case among the young fans. The young fans are in it and they understand the history and all that. And he was saying himself, look, we're trying to bring it back. And I was going, fucking fair play to you. Best of luck. Do you know, and as I say, in any season, I would be very happy. Celtic first, Hibs second, no problem at all. That fucking would keep me happy.
But I mean, but Hibs as a club, do the Hibs as a club embrace the Irish side of it that much? I don't really know.
I don't think as a club they particularly do. The fans would, but I don't know. I could be wrong, but I don't really think so.
No, I wouldn't have thought. But as I say, 2 immigrant teams topping the fucking league in Scotland, that would keep me fucking happy. Not a problem at all. But anyway, as I say, it's not a Hibs show. Sounds like it is. Anything else to add, Liambo?
Just you know what?
That just were in the artisan.
Just the game itself. I'm sure you've covered it, but I didn't think Celtic were Celtic were poor, but they weren't like lethargic or like lacking effort. I think just a combination of the changes we made, Hibs coming out the blocks really fast, and just weakening ourselves in a couple of positions. Really, I think just a combination of events kind of.
I think it's a fair point you make, Liam. Like, I was putting it all down to us. I think you need to give them credit because they were really good, and we had made changes. And I didn't think they looked particularly leggy because we finished the game like a train. You know, we were trying to win. Yeah. But I don't know, just a culmination of a few things, but. They couldn't really complain. See, at half time, I was saying to you, I would take this 1-0 at half time, you know, and obviously they ended up getting the goal just right at the end of the first half, which was a fucking killer.
To be honest, Jason, I thought, at half time when we made the subs, I thought we were going to win that game. I would say I was about 70% confident we'd win the game from there. I think the biggest concern for me was I thought Trusty was really, really suspect at both the goals in the first half. And, you know, he went from being, again, brilliant against Bayern Munich and just, you know, he seems to be very good in Europe, but really, really weak. And we're not covered Aberdeen yet, but there was a lot of examples in that game as well. It just, for a big guy, he's very, very weak in certain situations. And we saw it at Dundee earlier in the year as well. But, you know, that first goal, obviously, people will probably blame Taylor a bit, but Taylor's instructions are when we got the ball, get up the park. And then when we lose the ball, we're never going to be caught out. But Trusty went chasing after the ball into their half for some reason. Didn't win the ball. McGregor's not got any defensive positional sense because he should have just dropped straight in and given Trusty a hand there rather than go towards the ball. But once he'd done that and passed the ball, the guy was in, and really smart finish from him, to be fair. And I thought Hibs were good most of the game. And don't get me wrong, they played the ref all game. They were diving at every opportunity, every slight touch.
Aye, every possibility. Because I said there must be, potentially 10 minutes added on. You usually at 5. Yeah, but they were fucking at it constantly. But see, at the end of the day, fair play to them. You know, it's gamesmanship, and it's their route to win, and we just need to deal with it. But thankfully, he stuck 8 minutes on at the end, but we couldn't capitalise. But I'm 100% if we'd get that goal rightfully given, we would have
win the game. Yeah, we'll win the game. And obviously, second half, thought we were brilliant. The Jota run, again, I'm sure you've covered it. Yeah, why doesn't lay it off to Kuhn because it's an open goal then. he did brilliantly to get that far.
We didn't cover that, to be honest with you. What a run it was, and then and you're just saying you've got to play it. But to be fair to him, he actually, when he pulled out, when he brung it back, and he was in the 6-yarder, he had an amazing chance, and he just hit it right at the defender.
Yeah, no, definitely. But I think if he lays it off, Kuhn will just fucking bladder it in the net. And again, you know, Maeda just scoring goals that only Maeda's going to score. It's unbelievable player, man. Unbelievable.
He scored one against Aberdeen as well. He's first.
I know.
You know, just the defender fucking makes a hash out of it. He's right on the end there.
Yep. And I said to Mick, the Aberdeen game, and you know, obviously Larson was unique in his own way, but there were comparable strikers in Britain and Europe still compared to Larson. But Maeda's just a complete one-off. He's scoring goals that nobody else would score in the game, just with that fucking that awareness, that pace, that drive, and it's fucking.
I'm actually watching that goal right now. Right, it's funny.
It's incredible, John.
See the defender's fucking reaction when he scores. It's like, what the fuck just happened? What the fuck just happened? He wasn't even looking at the keeper going like, alright, he didn't look at everybody else. He just looked kind of in the distance and went, what the fuck just happened there?
But do you know Love as well? He's not got any facial expressions when he scores. He just scores, and it's like, right, that's it. That's what I'm here today. Come on, let's go. Get centre back. You know, there's no celebrating.
It's just like a mad assassin, you know what I mean? Just it just carries on, and I feel like
I'm paid to do this. I'm not taking any enjoyment out of it. You know. Yeah.
It's not personal, boys. It's not personal.
It feels like Wednesday was like the 4th or 5th time in about 2 weeks I've said only he could score that goal. Nobody else is getting that sort of goal.
I know.
And we said last week at Bayern Munich, again, if you watch it back, the home game, the goal he scores, he's behind 3 defenders 2 or 3 seconds before the player shoots. Do you know what I mean? And he just runs between the 3 of them, anticipating some mad little fucking ball that's going to drop down to him and scores a goal. He's fucking insane. Really is.
So,
in a good way.
Somebody said in the chat that is Maeda irreplaceable. I would say he's
100% irreplaceable.
But not only that, I would say he's somebody you'll never ever see again in football.
No, I've never seen anybody like him in my life ever, and I don't think I'll ever see another one.
No, it's fucking insane. Like,
I mean, there maybe is in South America. There maybe is like there's probably maybe some in Japan that looks like him.
There could be a guy in the Congo running away from a fucking tiger faster than fucking Maeda. But we're not in the same place for the football.
If you went into maybe some gymnastics club in North Korea, there's maybe a couple you could pluck out there that you can maybe train that to be like him, you know. But fucking hell.
What can they do in a cold night in Ross County? That's the fucking question.
If you're talking in pure numbers, obviously you could replace his numbers, right? But that would be a struggle. But everything else about his game, I've never seen anyone even remotely close. I mean, remotely close to that sort of person. And I saw something on Twitter during the week there where some really funny men. It's like Tavernier's gone into centre half now without realising Maeda's gone from the left wing to centre forward. So he's gonna have the same nightmare in a different way.
Aye.
A couple of weeks' time, but I think Hibs just got to put it to bed. You know what I mean? It was an off day. Still could have won the game. Didn't get decisions. Obviously, the big talking points, the goal that was disallowed or was overruled, which has been proven to be correct, as we all said. Just put it to bed. Do you know what I mean? And just move on from it. We're not going to win every game. We're going to lose a few games here and there. Hibs on a crest of a wave and doing really well, so it's not a big deal for me.
Right. And on to Aberdeen, right? Apart from almost giving away a fucking free goal in the fucking very early stages of the game, somebody texted me, boy Pierce from Belfast texted me, he goes, how the fuck are we 3-0 up? Right? And I was like, I don't know, maybe it's spurred a bit McFarland is helping us here. Because it didn't feel like it was like we were 3-0 up and we're like massively all over them. I mean, am I wrong there or what?
I thought we were really poor in the first half, Joe.
Yeah.
I thought we were really poor, maybe a little bit harsh, but we were definitely poor in the first half in terms of passing, holding the ball, creating chances, just general control. So it was brilliant, the fact that we ended up 3-0. I think a few of the players have come out and said something similar as well. It's just one of them odd games where we played, much better than that during the game and been level or behind or whatever, or just a goal up. But we're definitely off it, but just clinical in our finishing, thankfully, in that first half.
Well, things fell really well. I mean, like, my 8 goal came from kind of a deflection, and then you've got the Jada finish, which was fucking could have easily been sliced by the post.
Yeah, it was terrible finish.
Yeah,
I'll tell you that the good bit about that was the Kuhn ball. See at the start here. See Kuhn's ball to Jota. Fucking hell, that was beautiful. But,
did you see me? Did you see Maida in that one?
No.
Well, Engels made the run, didn't he? Made a cut across, took all the players out the way.
Are you talking about the one where Jada should have fucking passed it?
He did pass it, but
he passed the Engels and then got it back.
But watch Maida, because he was standing waiting for it, and when he I maybe got this wrong. It was the fucking goal. Is this the right one or the wrong one?
Jota scored.
So Maida stand behind Jada. He's waiting on the ball, and he like flinches. He's like, for fuck's sake! And then the score, and he's like, yay!
I see that. Watching it now.
I'll need to watch that back.
He's like, fuck, oh hell!
Yeah, dirty cut, hey!
But then he makes a wee back heel for fucking McGregor's goal. I mean, Maida's everywhere. He's one of them players. I'm sure when you play against him, he must be going, there's definitely 2 of these cunts.
See his reactions for the first goal when obviously the defenders made a hash of it. I'm not sure many folk go on the end of that. Just the way he reacts and he's there, and he just that's see they just one touch ones where it's a total reaction to get the ball in the net. He's absolutely deadly there. See when the ball's at an awkward height or the ball's coming in look funny. See when everything's going right and he's bearing down in goal, you've no get great confidence from fucking putting that away. But see when it's just a reaction thing, he's unbelievable. Unbelievable. But I kind of would say, Liam, I know exactly what you're saying about his no playing well in the first half. I mean, you look at Aberdeen had 3 good chances.
Yeah.
The one that the guy's got the open goal, he's fucking flashed it back. Carter Vickers was trying to fucking put it outside there, look at his cell in the net. The ball was going by, obviously, but he doesn't know it. But he could have fucking made an arse of that and fucking backheeled it in the net or something.
Yeah.
But,
or he could have fucked himself on the post. I was kind of he's going to fuck himself on the post there.
I know. But I didn't think we were great in the first half, but just clinical finishing. And how many times have been great and no put the ball away? Do you know what I mean? You would have that any day.
Totally. That's what I said. We played 5 times better than that and been drawing or winning by a goal or whatever.
Yeah, I agree.
It's just the way the season goes, isn't it? It's just you get that kind of mix, and we've definitely got an Indian sign over Aberdeen. I think we've got such a good record against them. So,
well, here's the start I couldn't believe. Right, I couldn't believe this at the start of the season. Do you know Celtic have lost 3 goals at home this season in the league?
But that's why Schmeichel was going fucking nuts, because it was 10 in a row. He was going to be the record holder for 10 consecutive games with no goals. That's why he went fucking mad when the goal went, and he was raging.
And by the way, do you know who scored the 3 goals against us? Aberdeen.
Fuck's sake.
Right.
Not another team scored at Celtic Park against us this season.
Really?
In the league.
Oh, they scored 2.
But that's what I was fucking saying to you, Jason. It's been an outrageous season. You know, by
I couldn't believe that. I was trying to think back.
By any metric, by any measurement, this has been a fucking outrageously good season.
Did Hibs not score against us in that game?
Did they? Well, somebody's told me at the weekend.
I was in Spain watching the game and trying to remember, but Hibs kind of battered us in that game for large spells, but maybe they didn't score in that game then. They had loads of chances against us, I remember.
We need Scott, don't we?
I've got it here. I'll get up my phone. 2 seconds, but that's a mad stat.
See, prior to that game, we'd only lost 2 goals at home, and Aberdeen had scored 2 of them.
Right.
And then they scored again, obviously, when it was 4-0. By the way, don't want to look. Scales, did you see Scales for their goal?
Oh, horrible.
Oh,
Aye.
the guys would buy him, and then Scales just tried to like shove him.
Aye.
And
Well,
It
no,
was like
hey,
a-
hey,
it was
he's
like a
made,
fucking
he's made a
amateur
half
back.
challenge and then put his hands on him and then tried to chase him. And these guys got a good yard on him, like. But let's focus on Yang in the match, though.
By the way, Yangers was outstanding when he came on.
Wasn't
And I'll tell you another one. See if you actually see Maeda's second goal. Yangers was there for it. He was raging because he's gave the pass to Johnston and he's made the burst and run. But for Yangers, his goal was fucking out of this world. You know the goal that he scored.
Aye, he built it and then scored it.
Aye. Absolutely brilliant.
Just check there, Jason. You're right. So Aberdeen 2 goals, first game of the season. They're the next team to score in February. It's incredible, that, isn't it?
There you go. I'm here all week, mate.
Right.
A broken clock, Jason.
Somebody else told you is what you said.
Aye. I'm no good. Let's face it. If you think I'm actually scowling through results to come on here with facts, you've not been listening to the fucking HomeBhoys very long, have you?
Oh, goodness.
Well, that was good knowledge. Fucking fair play.
Aye.
We thought you had loan deals with buyout clauses saved as your favourites, Jason. So we'll take it back.
So the Aberdeen game. So, as I say, the thing for me was, well, here's the discussion, right? So we I think we started with our best team. You know, at the minute.
Yep.
That to me, and no disrespect to Greg Taylor, but Schlupp is an upgrade.
Well, as the 20-minute Thames podcast said, it's a Schlupp grade.
Oh well, there you go.
So I thought it was very good.
Obviously, I don't listen to them, so I have no idea about that. But there you go. I really like the boy. I think he's top drawer.
Big lad too.
Aye. I think Engels is coming onto a game. He's going to be a star. And I know you were saying, we on our chat we're talking about Hatate. I think Hatate's brilliant, right? And I know he doesn't produce the goods all the time, but I still really, really rate the guy. And he's the guy that can play the worldly. And he maybe tries it a bit too often. That's how he kind of falls in his arse at times. But and we'll talk about this, obviously. Let's get the Aberdeen one out the road and then we'll go back to it, because we had a couple of decent chats during the week on our chat about who could potentially leave and stuff like that. But for the Aberdeen game, so the first half for me anyway, I would agree with you, Liam. I didn't think we were great at all. See, in the second half, and it was ironic, when we made the substitutions, I thought Yang was out of this world. He just came on, and obviously you're playing a team that's fucking, they're 3-0 down and they're whatever. But his goal he scored was outstanding, and obviously he's played the ball to McGregor for Maeda's goal. But I thought they just kept up the pace, you know, and I just thought the second half we were brilliant, although we let that goal in, which was a kind of wee block. But it was a great night. I didn't think Celtic were at their best, but winning 5-1 against Aberdeen, who have started getting a wee bit of their early season form back. You know, they were on a bit of a decent run there. So, it was very, very pleasing. Obviously, coming back to defeat Easter Road as well. So, I was well delighted.
Yeah, I like the way we got that last goal there as well. You know, I mean, conceded a bad one, which is really frustrating, especially for Schmeichel, who's on this record run of clean sheets and stuff, you know, and then to come back a minute later, you know, Johnson again with that brilliant overlap and puts the ball across, and Maeda fucking just out of nowhere, man, to get that goal. That was a really good end to the game for us, I thought.
To be fair, Did Schmeichel know? Did the ball not go through his legs?
Yeah, it wasn't. It's not his fault.
Down his left, no.
I get that. Was it? I don't know, Joe. I couldn't. I only watched the highlights, like half watched it, but obviously been at the game as well. But it looked as if it threw his legs, but it didn't. But then it's not at all. The guy's bearing down and goal. He's got by scales and he's rattled it in. So fair enough. But I think.
No, it didn't go through his legs. It passed his left leg under his arm.
See, I couldn't believe that Celtic's best goalkeeping display ever was Rob Douglas for the clean sheets. Did you see that?
Only his first season was only like 18 goals or something, was it?
Aye, and he is it 12 or 13?
It was something like that. Yeah.
And there's I think he was maybe in 13. There's quite a few in 12, some in 11. But Schmeichel's on. What is he on 10 at the minute? Did you see, Liam? 11?
No, I think he's got. They said he called Joe Hart's right 19. I don't know whether that's.
I've got the figures totally wrong, but I reckon between now and the end of the season, if we have clean sheets, Kasper Schmeichel will be the all-time record holder.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure he's on 19, the same as Hart, or just one above.
That one is maybe. I've got the figures wrong then. Right. But aye.
I think the Schlupp one's quite interesting. I think you were laughing, Jason, at Hibs saying, "Fucking, he's giving Tierney a run for his shirt. Never mind Greg Taylor. If we end up keeping him on, he looks the part, doesn't he?"
Oh, telling you, he's a unit as well. But I really like him. He's really good on the ball. Yeah, and he's got an eye for goal as well. He's not scored, but he's got an eye for goal that he's like he could do that as well. But I think he's a right good player. Really good player.
Yeah, he hit the post the other day as well, didn't he?
Aye. I really rate him. But do you think there's a possibility we could get him?
Well, what age is he? 30 or something? 32? 30? If he's 32 and he's getting a renewal and we offer him half that money, but it goes back to the conversation I had about Greg Taylor, maybe why we're not giving him the renewal, that we don't want to pay 30 grand plus for two left backs in the same position sort of thing. But I think Schlupp could play in about 4 or 5 different positions for us easily, without embarrassing himself. He looks like he's a real all-rounder just with his physicality. Yeah. I think he'd be great value for money for us, even at that sort of money. So they are.
And I think if you're looking to bolster your squad, the thing is, you're going to lose Greg Taylor. Well, we all think we're going to lose Greg Taylor.
At the moment, yeah. At the moment. But
so,
again, without being harsh on Taylor, would you want to pay Taylor 20-25 grand a week or Schlupp 30 grand a week? I mean, for me, you're getting a much better player there.
Yeah, without a doubt.
I mean, that's not personal on Taylor because I like him.
He's been great for us. I mean, the thing is, Greg Taylor could have signed a new deal, by now.
I think Taylor. I don't know. I think he's made a real bad move.
Why?
Because if he was going to sign a pre-contract with somebody, of which you can sign multiple fucking pre-contracts, he would have done it. So he's getting into free agency here, really looking a bit shit. Do you know what I mean? He's not even playing for Celtic. We've upgraded on him. He's just had a kid. Fucking hell. Do you know what I mean? And it's like he's just been left to sort of twist in the wind. It doesn't really give him a strong negotiating point with any club he's going to, because he's going to have to get work. So they can go tell him, "Oh, no problem, I will take you, but we're only giving you whatever the fuck." What's he going to do? So he can take his deal that we've already offered him, which is fair enough, or he can just take whatever the fuck deal. He hasn't really got any leverage at all.
He doesn't really strike me as a guy that wouldn't have a plan, though.
He doesn't. What the fuck is his plan? His plan was to let us for more money, and it hasn't worked.
There was a lot of talk about him going to America. I think someone said his wife or his wife's family's American, right? I could understand that if it was a lifestyle change and tying in with his family or whatever. But as Marty said, he's not made any commitment anywhere. It's nearly the end of February.
And he's made a few fuck ups in the last couple of months where you know what I mean. Where Celtic are now glad that they've got Schlupp in and happy not to play him.
Well, when you look at
it's always high stakes when you get into this eyeballing of your club and stuff like that. So obviously, unless you're like a real top class player. Where Taylor really isn't a real top class player. He's a good player. He's solid, but he's not. Like the MLS aren't going to put him in as one of their 2 big earners. Not a fucking chance.
No, and like some come in and played really, really well. So it kind of devalues his position straight away in terms of
us.
Here.
In terms of if he came back to us, well, we'll be going then. We've got slop in there. We don't need you. So here's whatever deal we're prepared to give you. It's a silly. I think he's totally overplayed his hand, or maybe he's been given bad advice. But I'm sure we gave him a fucking solid deal. Do you know what I mean? I'm sure he's on plenty of money. Like, you know, he's probably up around 10, 15 grand a week, that direction. For a player who came from Kilmarnock, it's a fucking decent place to be. Now, what's going for him is left backs. He's a left back, you know what I mean? So left backs are always harder to come by. So maybe some team has a injury issue or something and they need a left back in the summertime quick. That could play for him, but in general, I think he's fucking played his hand terribly, absolutely terribly.
I think, to be honest with you, right, see whatever we've offered him, and I would agree with you, Marty, it would be between the 10 and 15 grand a week mark, right? I think that there'll be teams in England who'll definitely pay that for him. Because,
but that's, I have no doubt they will, absolutely. But I think he would have been looking to get into the £30,000 bracket.
Aye, exactly.
That's
exactly. But the thing is as well, if they're only matching what Celtic was going to give him, he's fucking lost out big times. He's going to have to relocate, take the family fucking somewhere else, blah, blah, blah. Do you know what I mean? There's going to be a big upheaval and you don't know how it's going to go. Whereas he was a kind of solid at Celtic. But obviously with Tierney coming in, he knows he's not going to be playing. So from his point of view, I kind of get it. But he has definitely rolled the dice. And to me, the Dinamo Zagreb thing was a non-starter for the start. I mean, who the fuck goes to Dinamo Zagreb?
Exactly, man.
You know,
exactly.
What Western European person goes to Dinamo Zagreb?
Especially right now. I'm going to go with the Balkans. It seems good.
Aye, because that's most corrupt as fuck, and they might not pull out the deal and fucking no pay me and stuff like that.
Everybody knows that Dinamo Zagreb are run by the mafia. You're not saying it for a club.
Just gonna say, of course, it's normal to have a hand under the fucking contract signing.
Maybe they're offering him like $3 million in cash or something to saying, and you go, well, fair enough.
Here's my advice. See Greg Taylor. I loved him when he sent for Celtic. I still love him now. Right? Go get your money, Greg Taylor. Fucking say who you want. Go to Saudi Arabia. Go to America. Fucking say for Wrexham and get on a TV show. Use your fucking rapscallion charisma to fucking become Ryan Reynolds' sidekick or something out there. Fucking, I wish the guy all the best. He's done nothing but fucking 110% work.
Listen, but he's not that good of a player. He's a decent solid player.
I know, but I value fucking that kind of character and that. He's a wee small lad, right?
No, but listen,
he looks really uncomfortable playing football. To be honest with you, like he looks like he hates it.
There's no real argument with that. He's done a good job for us. Like, I'm not saying he's been a bad player. But he's just not that top tier. He's not. He's just
no, Marty.
Jason, just as you said, we're all delighted that Kieran Tierney's coming back. If Taylor was a better player, we'd be going, well, sure, don't need Tierney. We'll bring him back for.
Aye.
But we're fucking glad to see him. We're going to get this goal back now.
And by the way, fucking, I need to interject here. I've just looked at the chat there. Big Fred's just come on the chat. Fucking hell, thanks, big man. Big Fred works with ScotRail. He just said the whole of ScotRail were discussing today how many Japanese were in the Highlands.
There's a census. There's a census.
There we go. Fucking hell. Yeah, the big man just fucking dropped a fucking grenade in there and he's fucking backing his mate up. On you go, on yourself, Fred. Fucking you get vindicated one day. They're a man with the ScotRail fucking tickets.
Here's how about Greg Taylor, right? See if you're buying football players, right? Or you're selling football players. Greg Taylor's fucking CV is stellar. I mean,
well, I'm not
Champions
saying
Leagues, fucking medals,
fucking consistency. I'm genuinely not. I'm not trying to do Taylor down whatsoever. He is certainly a decent player.
Is it because he's a Protestant, Marty? Is that what it is?
I just think he has played this really fucking badly. And again, it's the same as Maida or whoever the fuck else. If he took an improved deal, then it might actually strengthen his fucking hand in negotiations by saying, well, I've got teams here who want me. But he clearly fucking doesn't.
Well, we don't know what's going on in
Do you
the
know what?
background.
I just googled
See
Greg
if it
Taylor,
was-
and the first thing comes up is Greg Taylor a Rangers fan? That's the first thing that came up.
I don't give a fuck about that. That's not my business.
I
But
just Google.
what I'm saying is that if he had a team, even they would have come in from in January and paid Celtic because he's going to go for free. So Celtic would have took the money for him in January. You'd have took something from him. And if they had Schlupp in, that would have quickened the pace of getting Schlupp in.
But the thing is, he's not going to go in January when he's running out his contract because he gets a signing-on fee. So wherever he goes, they instead of paying £2 million for him or £3 million, they give him that money.
Oh, no, here, but they could have got him for fuck all. You know what I mean? They could have given him a loyalty thing for moving. And he will have a loyalty bonus in his Celtic contract. But his Celtic fucking contract that he's on now won't be anywhere fucking near the contract that he would be getting in England. So you'd be going, fuck that loyalty contract, fuck that loyalty bonus. So what, fuck all. I'll be making £10,000 a week extra between now and the end of the fucking season in Cardiff or somewhere. Like, I don't know. It's a very, very strange one. He could have been very badly advised, or he's just took a shot in the dark and hasn't paid off.
But let's face it, he's not done that bad since
listen,
come in, right?
He has for who he is, he's done brilliant.
CV as well. He's a fucking solid fucking 7 out of 10 every week, 7.5.
But he's not at the European level. He's really not. He hasn't got it.
But he's not going to be going to teams that are fucking going to be challenging to winning European trophies.
No, I agree, I think for us.
I think all these interest in now is cash, and I can't begrudge him that because it's his final contract.
But I'm telling you now, Jason. I'm telling you now, Jason. I would not be surprised if he signs a contract with us before the end of the season. I fucking would not be surprised.
But his hand's very weak. Then I doubt that's going to happen, man. Like
his hand is weak.
I know. As a free agent, you can kind of go, listen, look what I bring. I don't fucking know, man.
I know, but as Jason says, he's going to have to uproot his whole fucking life, probably for about the same wages that he's going to get offered at Celtic.
So, Marty, who's standing there rubbing his hands now? Fucking old Big Pedro. He'll be getting offered 10 grand, 10 grand a week. Fucking way things are going.
Yeah. Listen, I'll give you a part-time job in chaos as well.
I'll tell you what, Liam. Like having the thoughts of having Schlupp and Tierney battling it out for a left back is very, very fucking promising.
Yeah, big time, man.
Fuck me. Do you know what I mean?
By the way, as I was looking at the start with Big Fred there, James Muir has just put one up there. Here's one that kind of shocked me, and he's put the evidence up. Celtic have only won 2 out of their last 10 games away from Celtic Park.
But this is my point, isn't it?
Obviously, the Champions League games are involved there as well, right?
Yes, that's my point about the Champions League. It's so fucking tough to come through a Champions League season unscathed. It's fucking tough. So, like, we do have Philip Clement to thank for some of it, but our team have genuinely been really good. You know, as you say, about the 7 out of 10. They've been operating at 7 out of 10 the whole fucking season. There hasn't really been big disasters, and there hasn't really been loads of like 7-0s and 8-0s. They've just been fucking going about their business as it should be, and with a rotated squad. So Liam, you might have heard. I'm not sure how much you heard when you were travelling earlier, but we were talking about that just by saying. The point I was making was, one, Rodgers has done a majestic fucking job of rotating this squad. And number 2, we've got really lucky with injuries, and the two things are probably connected. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It has been a fucking superior season for proper football management.
Yeah, and the thing with Tyler, which is quite odd, is just his missus just had a baby this week as well, didn't she?
That's why he was there.
Why he wasn't there?
He had to go to the hospital. And here, God bless him. Here, congratulations.
100%.
To the
you think he'd have a plan, wouldn't you? You think he'd have a plan in place if he's just become a dad for the first time?
No. I just genuinely think he might well have been badly advised, but he might have just been headstrong himself, thinking, fuck, I've done the business here, they should be giving me more. Both of which are completely fair enough. He's entitled to take whatever the fuck advice he's given and he's entitled to take whatever approach he has. This, as Jason says, it's a short career. If he wants to go for more money, then totally, because Celtic would sell him, fucking, if they thought they were going to make money on him. So, but I just think he's in a completely weak position. Really is.
Possibly, it could. You could be absolutely right, but I don't know. But I would think like a Sheffield United or something like that would give him. Say they get promoted, right? So second in the Championship at the minute, and they go up. Like a team like that would give him 20 grand a week and give him a signing on fee, £500,000. That's a kind of, I think that, like, say with the parachute payments, like a Southampton or something like that, would give him 20 grand a week. Yeah, £500,000.
Do you know what I mean? After tax, it's not much difference.
No, but £500,000 signing on fee.
Signing on fee is different, but absolutely. And if you think about it the other way, if he was getting a beefed up Celtic contract, then he'd be getting that loyalty payment at the end of his beefed up contract rather than the shit contract he's on at the minute.
I don't know.
So it's just, I just think it's, I
get your point. And
I just think honestly, I don't think it's been a particularly fucking smart move from him. Do you know what I mean? If he was getting a heavy duty contract from Celtic, you would take it, and he's obviously
not got a heavy duty contract for Celtic, hence why he's not took it.
I would say he would be on, like, what would he have been on coming from Kilmarnock? He'd been on 4 or 5 grand now. You would imagine, wouldn't he be?
More than that, I think. He's signed. He's still not on his Kilmarnock contract.
It'll be 10 grand.
See, when we signed him, we've given him a deal since then, haven't we?
Yeah.
I don't know.
We have.
So it'll be on between 7 and 10 grand. Probably 10.
And he thinks he could probably get 20 to 30 in England or somewhere else.
And he could.
Or America.
He could.
Aye. So
I don't know. It's one to watch, definitely. But I'm telling you now, I would not be surprised if before the end of the season, all of a sudden he pops up and saying,
see if you go to somewhere like America, they relocate you. I mean, it's a different world. I mean,
but the point being is, Joe, they only have
Trump will relocate him. Fucking.
I know.
But the point is, Joe, the MLS is completely different. They only have 2 or 3 players at the top of the tree, and every other cunt gets like 50 grand a year. So it's not the same fucking ballpark whatsoever. So he would be going over there. For him to go over there, he would have to be one of the top earners. You could see him probably going to somewhere like the Vancouver Whitecaps or somewhere fucking, do you know what I mean? They would probably pay him. But the MLS teams, like the bigger MLS teams, like New York, fucking whatever the fucking Galaxy and the LA Galaxy and the one in Miami, they're not taking Greg Taylor. Not a fucking chance.
What other short, ugly player with a big nose play for Vancouver Whitecaps?
That fucking old bastard Scotsman.
Wally Johnston.
Peter Beardsley.
Wally Johnston played with him.
I was more thinking of
every comp played with him, like, didn't they?
Fucking dirt he played for him. But look, I'm just spitballing here, really. But I would be very, very surprised if the MLS were going to leave one of their top places available for Greg fucking Taylor. I doubt it very much. He doesn't bring any marketing value.
Don't listen to these fucking negative Nazis, Greg Taylor. Go get your money, son. Go get it.
No, Greg, not to do that, kid. Get your fucking contract signed and fuck up. You're doing all right. You're playing Champions League. You're playing Champions League football. What the fuck more do you want?
You can sit and sloop's lap on the bench.
It's in his kiss. The sloop song.
Goodness.
So see another one that's shown like recently. He's a right upturn as well. Alistair Johnson.
Fuck, he has had some brilliant games recently.
He's been out of this world recently. To be honest with you, that would be one that I would worry about. That we would get a big bid in for.
100%. And he's a complete professional. And the other thing is too, Jason, see earlier on whenever I was saying about players carrying niggles and injuries and stuff like that, I'm talking about him. He's bound to be carrying fucking injuries and playing through the type of game he plays and whatever else. Some of his tackles, like the last couple of weeks, have been fuck. In Munich, he was just wow. You know what I mean? If he
So,
wasn't playing for, pardon me, if he wasn't playing for Celtic and you were watching like one of the real fucking huge European teams, if he was playing for Bayern Munich, for example, you'd be going, Jesus, your man, fuck Johnson, what a fucking player he is.
I know, and that would be one as well. But so circling back, I'd said Liam about we were chatting on our chat about potential players that could leave, right? And Liam, you've got a thing about Kuhn. You reckon Kuhn could be off at the end of the season? And you made an interesting point because you said he's not been great recently. I'm paraphrasing.
Yeah.
I don't know what you said, but you take it away. What's your thoughts about Kuhn? Rather than me
I think he's been
shite.
off the ball. No, I think he's been off the ball, to be fair, since kind of last month or two. Obviously, he scored a brilliant goal against Munich, but I think he's been a little bit off the boil. I think there was a few rumours kicking around that Newcastle had put a strong interest or bidding for him. I don't know how far that got. And somebody on the Huddle board, I think Eddie Pearson maybe just said Rodgers uses this same term all the time about players being, he uses a specific term, durable, or that they can train all the time and they can play all the time. He's got a specific term for it, which I'll come back to in a minute. And he made reference to the fact that Kuhn maybe not picks and chooses when he's fit, but it doesn't take much for him to put him out of not being available for playing, sort of thing.
See that point, right? How many games Kuhn missed?
Well, he hasn't missed many, has he? When you think of it.
So that's how I'm like fucking perplexed here, right? Kuhn's played just about every game. You know, he's been on the bench a few times because obviously Rodgers has mixed the team up, etc. But I can't remember any games that Kuhn's missed.
He missed a few, and then he was named in the team for a home game, and then pulled out in the warm up.
And obviously last season with the toothache stuff, right? Because obviously last season was a kind of bit of a write-off, you know, because we were all like, is he going to be any good? You know, it was like, but so I get that talking for last season, but talking for this season, I can't remember Kuhn missing many games at all.
I'd be amazed if Kuhn is not one of the top transfer targets for dozens of clubs across Europe.
No. I totally agree with that.
His fucking performances in the Champions League have been wonderful on occasion. He's banged in goals and he's doing it domestically. Like, well, it'll be hard to keep him.
Aye,
it really will.
And see, from that point of view, I agree with that. But I didn't get Liam's angle at it. With you'd said about the rumours, and I don't get the fact that he's not committed to Celtic. I don't get that at all.
I never said that he wasn't committed to Celtic. Just he seems off the pace just now. It's just something I read on the Huddle board or wherever that there've been a few murmurings about him. But look, I'd have to dig it out. You know, you read loads of shit on there, but I'm pretty sure Eddie Pearson had said on there something quite specific about his willingness to play, or there was a specific term that he used. Now, you know, people say lots of stuff on there that's bullshit.
I mean, he's normally actually all right, to be fair.
Yeah,
you know,
exactly.
Shit, right?
Yeah. If I knew how to search for Eddie Pearson and Kuhn, I would do it.
No. But that's fine because I didn't know. I'd no heard there. I'd hardly gone there anyway. But I'd hardly heard any of that. But what I said to you, Liam, as well, and I fucking put it on our chat just before he scored against Bayern Munich, didn't I? But he frustrates the life out of me, right? That he won't get in the wing. That fucking I'm not. I mean, let's face it. He plays in the right wing, but he's all left-footed. And I get the reason why, but surely if you're a defender, you can read him. Because he never gets down the wing. Like maybe, say he's running down the wing 10 times, 9 times out of 10, he will cut inside. You know, it's not like... I worked with a guy, and it was the guy... What was the boy? He played with Hearts, the winger. Johnston. Alan Johnston, was it?
Yeah.
Aye. And a big boy I worked with played with Stranraer. And he said he played with Hearts as a youth player. And he says he would be running at you and he says, I was a decent defender, and he says, he would come at you, and he would come at you, and he says, he would do that feint, and he says, he would always do the same feint, and he says, I would say to myself in my brain, I'm no fond for that the next time, because he's always going to cut inside me. And he says, the way he done that feint, I always fell for it. He says, my brain just didn't kick into action. And he says, my body just went for it down the wing and he cut inside. So maybe Kuhn's get that bit of folk, because he is unbelievable at cutting inside. And I just think at times, I mean, I'm being overly critical here because I think the guy's an unbelievable player, and I think he's just behind Maeda. And him, Maeda, and Alistair Johnson for me are the three outstanding players, and Callum McGregor obviously as well. But I think he's been outstanding. But sometimes when he cuts inside, he should have the shot off more, because he keeps running and running sometimes. But when he gets that shot off, it's fucking beautiful, because most of the times it nestles in that bottom corner.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. But it's mad. Like, you look at Cherney, who plays for them, and he's much slower than Kuhn is. But he's got about 15 goals with the exact same move every single time. And you know exactly what he's going to do, but he just drops that shoulder, one touch inside, and
it was interesting with that boy that played at a good level. You know, he played with Hearts youth team, but he won the Challenge Cup with Stranraer or whatever. And he says it's unreal when you're playing these guys. He says, I was training this guy every day and I knew what he'd done. But he says, every time he ran towards me, he says, I knew he was going to get inside me. But he says, see when he put that shoulder down and he just went as if he was running.
Yeah.
And then he says, I just lost it all the time. He says, I couldn't.
But Kuhn's benchmark is the rest of the team. He's up there with Maeda, and he had more goals than fucking Kyogo when Kyogo left. Do you know what I mean? He's what pisses me off about him more is when he does that, when he runs back fucking hammer and tongs towards our defence, and you go, what are you fucking doing? Turn round. That's the only thing that bugs me about him. But as a player, fuck. Do you know what? And he was out injured. He did, just as Liam mentioned, he come off in the warm up, and you know, often you get them sort of soft tissue injuries too. You don't want to extend yourself too much in the next couple of fucking games in case you do the game. So there might be a bit of that happening. You know, he wants to stay fit and stay on the team and whatever else. Because you have Ida, Maeda, fucking Jota now back in too. Rodgers has gone back to swapping wings. I'm sure you have fucking noticed. So there's none of us there. This is your position, mate, and you'll be in every week. You fucking won't. You will be rotated, and you will be fucking whatever. So everybody needs to be on their game. So if I was Kuhn, I'd be trying to stay fit, because you could be on the bench again. You know, depending on the way maybe Ada performs. So it's good. It's a good thing. It's keeping everybody on their fucking toes.
Aye. But the thing is, let's face it, we're not really keeping folk on their toes because we haven't got that strong a bench. You know, Luke McCowan has been good in domestic games, and he done all right when he came on against Aberdeen.
Hold on, Jason. It's not about the strong bench. It's not, because Jada's been on the fucking bench. It's about rotation, and you know, and there's only really McGregor, who, apart from the defence, obviously, or the keeper, who you're setting your fucking clock by, because Engels has been on the fucking bench. Hatate's been on the bench. Hatate, in my opinion, should have been on the bench fucking more. He's lucky at Bernardo's out.
But I think Jota, once Jota gets fully match fit, he'll not be on the bench.
Well, I hope not, because he's absolutely fucking beautiful. What a gorgeous human.
Oh, he's unbelievable. I'm still fucking pinching myself that he's signed back with us.
Joe, guess who's turned up on the Late Late Show?
Who?
You
Scott
fucking
McCauley.
can't.
Danny Carr?
I am fucking shitting it. He's sitting here for I fucking love Ireland. I love it.
Paddy, I was in Temple Bar today. It was
Paddy's
fucking.
all right.
Kicking off.
It was
all
fucking. We were fucking sniffing cocaine out of fucking €100,000 notes. You. It was €70 for a fucking pint of Guinness.
Showboy. Shamrock Rovers. Fuck me.
Fucking let's have it. Where's Harper?
Where's Harper? Bring him out. Bring him out. Come on, Harper, you can't. Harper, you can't. Fuck me. Danny Darren, Paddy Keatley, what a fucking match in the mains there. Holy
there
fuck.
you go. I mean, there's a lot to unpack there, isn't there? I mean,
I'm on the late show, and I'm not afraid to admit it. I am fucking shitting myself.
fucking Donnybrook is the scariest place I've ever fucking been.
That fucking
South Dublin is fucking intense.
Can you mind the time outside? Obviously, this is where it all stemmed to, but outside Ibrox, he's standing for the cellar.
Aye, it was the Kevin Bridges sketch.
Guys walk by with their own sausage. Or I want to smell it. It's
Yeah,
fucking
and he had
kicking off.
Jason. The guy was walking past with a cup of tea and one of fucking Joe McKenna's hats. One of them fucking Jester hats. It was probably Joe.
Jingle, 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 jingle.
See the hang up. It's always perplexed me, right? Because I've went to Celtic Rangers games when I was a kid, right? And my dad wouldn't let me go until I was like, and he took my first ever game was the one. Was it? I can't remember. Was it 1980 or something at Celtic Park? Or maybe 70. I can't remember. Gordon DL scored for them. It finished 3 each. But that was my first game. I was maybe, I don't know, 7. So maybe 79 or something. I can't remember. But anyway, I was 12, 13, started going to the mall, right? And violence, I've went to watch Everton or England, and I've seen 10 times more violence at their
100%.
games than I have at any Celtic Rangers game. And folk go, it's the scariest game in the world. And you're like, is it? Fuck.
Nah, very really.
Unless you're in Glasgow city centre after it and fucking.
Well, it used to be hurry around Brigden and places like that. And I remember my first Huns match was 1982. What age was I? I was 13, and I remember going down to Nuneaton Street, and they had sliced a guy. They sliced a Celtic fan, and we were all crowded around the chippy van at the top of Nuneaton Street, and the chippy van man was fucking basically wrapping your man's head in chippy paper, where he'd been fucking sliced across the top of his head. So they're bastards. Like, if you give them the opportunity, they're just cunts. You know what I mean? They would do it, but it is well policed. It is well segregated. It is like ridiculously safe, considering the animosity between the two teams. That the last really major fucking flare up was in 1980. You know, it's fucking.
That was on the park. Do you know what I mean?
No, 100%. That was in the stadium. It was in the ground, and like, so it's not Galatasaray, Fenerbahce, or fucking some of them teams in Serbia and all. It's not, like, it just fucking isn't. It really isn't. Like,
Don't get me wrong. I've witnessed things that haven't been reported and that.
well, look here. Things have been reported too. Like,
It's
you see last year when they were fucking, or in the match earlier in the season when they were boxing each other. Like, it's not none of us are saying that it doesn't happen. It fucking does happen. But the point is, you have 50,000 Huns who go to Ibrox and 60,000 Tims who go to Celtic Park. Like, the chances for violence and murder are exponential. It doesn't really happen.
Nah.
You know, it happens among a very small amount of people in comparison to those numbers.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So, and like, the cops are at it. The cops are never not at it. They want it to happen because it justifies their budgets and their fucking resources in terms of football, whatever the fuck. And it's a ridiculous thing. It has an awful knock-on effect of the fan experience, where families just want to go and enjoy the match, and they can't.
But the thing is, Marty, it's blown out of proportion to. So I'm going to bring Liam in here now, because Liam
absolutely
knows 100%. Birmingham City against Aston Villa. What's that like compared to Celtic?
Thank you. Right, that's what. Right, I was at my first Blues Villa derby, probably 86, 87. I've been 14. So if you think of the Blues ground, Jason, you've been there a few times. Think of their north stand, right? from the side or the whole side of the pitch. I've seen 500 plus Villa fans fighting 1,000 plus Birmingham fans for 10 minutes in that stand when it was old, before seating was in there, and just absolutely going for it head to head for about 10 minutes, man. And I've seen that. I've been to probably 150 at least English football games, and back in the 80s and the early 90s, that was just every single game. It was like that. Every single.
I've seen Everton or England, and I've been in the middle of some of the scariest things ever. Going to a football game, because I was 16 in Ibiza, met these Scousers and started going down to watch Everton, and they were coming up here. They loved it, right? But the thing is, we would go to Dundee and we'd have 10,000 fans up there, and maybe 8,000 or whatever. It was all terracing. And you would go to Aberdeen and you would have 5,000 fans and whatever. And you would go to Perth and you would take over the full stadium. You would go to Paisley, you would have half of the stadium. Every game you went to, there was thousands of these, right? Absolute thousands. And you just basically took our pubs and whatever, right? Then I'm doing with them. So I went to games at Goodison, I went to Derby at Anfield, and it was dead friendly at the time, but half friendly, but we were in the Cop whenever played Liverpool. And so then I went to Chelsea away with them. So I'm in Kirby, and my mates had booked the train tickets. So I've turned up to get a train, and there's 60 of us got on the train. I'm like, many fans have here. This was the old terrace at Stamford Bridge. I'm like, many fans of Everton have here the days like about 1,500. I'm like, what? Fucking. So we get down there, 60s, and then they're all fucking big guys and all that. They met in a pub in London and went to Stamford Bridge, and there's about 200 of us on this subway, and we've got half. And you get half at Stamford Bridge, and it's fucking Chelsea fans everywhere, and you're like fucking, and you're just like, fucking hell, man, this is mental. And you're saying, and there's no police, fucking the odd fucking copper standing about here and there, and you're like, what the fuck's going on here? And you realise to yourself, Celtic and Rangers, it's just became this thing that it's the most passionate derby, and it's probably for a good angle because it's just in the fitness sense in the stadium, and I get that it creates a cauldron of atmosphere, right? With two sets of fans going to it, obviously recently when they've not been there, but see, for actual violence, and it's nowhere near anything it's not even in the same fucking stratosphere. But you go on any of these sites on Facebook and that, they talk about derbies in the world, what's the scariest derby in the world? 100% Celtic Rangers will be number one for every one of them. And you're like, it just fucking isn't it? It would be scary. See when you live in the Wishaw, see when you get back to Wishaw and you get dropped off in the bus, there'll be running battles in Wishaw Main Street. But there wouldn't be anything at the game. It's like a society thing rather than a game of football.
Yeah.
As the game goes, you could go to the game with your kids and that, and you could walk in and you could walk out and you could go home and order a Chinese at night, and you just would be like.
I suppose the football's the main thing. The other stuff's kind of ancillary to the whole.
Aye. But you go to these other games and it's absolutely stone mad.
In the stands, like.
Aye, well, in the 80s and 90s, 100%. I went to an Everton-Chelsea game at Goodison Park, and there was, I always remember, I think it was a Sunday Donegal Celtic bus. It was a Sunday, and there was a free week in Scotland. And in the Everton end, there was tricolours everywhere, and there was 2,000, 1 or 2,000, maybe 2,000 too much. But they had the full park end at the time. It was all terrace at Goodison. And there was at least 1,000 Rangers fans in the Chelsea end, right? And they were getting the cry was no surrender in them. And the Everton fans were all going after nothing. There was tricolours everywhere. And see outside the ground, the violence was something I'd never seen in my life before.
Yeah.
It was unbelievable. And we were in the middle because we were loving it. It was all the Tims against them. And like,
fucking come on, you cunts!
Well, no, they weren't saying that. They're like, fucking calm down, you scouse cunts. It was wild. You know?
These cunts have brought Scottish in. It's like Braveheart. It's like fucking, no, fucking, here comes the
By the way,
cavalry come in.
See, at the end of the game, right? Pat Nevin was playing with Chelsea, and Chelsea won 1-0. Right? See, at the end of the game, I was in the. See if you can look at Goodison the now. You know Goodison, Pat. See where the away fans are now. No, that wee corner of the Bullens, the upper and the lower Bullens. See the wee corner next to the park end. I was standing there. That was like the paddock. That was the lower Bullens, and there was seats above us. There was an Everton lad at the end of the game, come over near us and fired a rocket flare into the back of the stand, and it set it on fire.
Fuck.
And they were all singing that "One Man went to medal," this Chelsea song right at the end of the game. And he fired this rocket flare, and then all the fans started climbing out and get into the park end to fight them. And it was just like chaos. So we've all went out, and everybody's went out, and there's just thousands of Scousers just running round to the back of the park end, knocking lumps at them. And you're just like, this is unbelievable.
And the place half on fire?
Well, they put it out quite quick, but it was like, they fired like it was a rocket flare thing, and they were all singing, and see, as soon as that thing hit the stand, they all just shut up, and they just fucking, they all hit the deck. And it was like, you're like that, the guy, you end up in the jail, you know, that's like violence, it's like fucking...
Assault, that's assault, brother.
But it's not assault, it's fucking deadly weapons, and I mean, you could end up 20 years in jail or whatever, caught with that stuff. But it was like insane, and like, I'm like, fucking, that didn't happen up the road.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, almost every game I went to back in the 80s was exactly like that. And in the away, you know, probably in the home end as well, but the away fans, there was nobody probably younger than 14 or 15 that would even contemplate being at them games. Maybe more in the home support, but it's fucking wild, man.
And the thing is, we get a pint at a game in Scotland, but you can get a pint at a game in England.
Yeah.
What that out? Causing 1980.
Yeah.
What a fucking draconian shithole this is.
I know. But what a difference, man. Wild days. They were wild, man.
Mental. Absolutely mental. And it was
but now Pyro's the issue. I mean, so like we've gone from like cunts getting fucked at each other to now Pyro being like, oh, can't be doing that.
Aye. There's guys with asthma there.
But Joe, just look, I was trying to say earlier, and Jason tried to articulate it there. You think about you're in the main stand and you're looking at the north stand, right? And there's 1,000 people on one side fighting 1,000 people on the other side, and there'd be one fence in between them. It's fucking just that was just the norm then, because there was no seats, so you could get anywhere in the ground really if you were determined.
Yeah, see, that's just ridiculous though. That's just fucking like that. That's way before health and safety was even thought of. That was back in the trust era of what they're going. People be all right, right? And then people proved everybody wrong, and then they went, "Oh fuck, I gotta police these fucking monkeys." You know what? I see the likes of the Pyros feather. I do like to see it. I fucking hate being around it though, and that's the thing that kind of, I suppose, makes me a bit of a hypocrite and a fanny, I suppose, as well. Anyway, where are we going with that? We're 2 hours now, are we?
Yeah. So,
I just wanted to say Scott McCurry's a piece of shit.
He is. He is.
He's a fucking piece of shit, that boy.
Continues to be as well.
Yep.
Man.
Do you know, funny story from the...
Did we do the Aberdeen match?
We just did the whole
Yeah, we
thing.
did.
But they would do
Jason-
like goal to goal, fucking. No, I mean it was actually like the way we didn't play well in the second half. It was actually quite a fucking stunning result. In that sense,
But you know what though? As much as I want to fault Liam Scales for that Aberdeen goal, Casper Schmeichel got beat at his near post pretty easily.
I'm sure that's what he was saying about it going through his legs. But I actually
True,
think like we could beat on Saturday, and we did Mohammed fucking Aberdeen on Wednesday, so it's actually not a bad fucking week. All in.
Yeah. Do you know what? It's been a wild week of Scottish football, and that's kind of like we're
That's-
not really suffering that much, which is great. I mean,
We're still there. We're staring down the barrel of an early League One again, which is where you want to be. Get it fucking done and dusted and let rest players and whatever else. So
When do we reckon is the potential date?
I'm not sure if they keep winning.
I think it's April at some point. No,
Well,
last
if they
game.
drop any,
early
Last
April.
game
if they
before
drop
the
any
split.
points in between, it could be closer.
The last game before the split, you reckon, Liam?
Well, if we beat them and that's the only difference in the results, then it's the last game before the split, which is Kilmarnock, I think, something like that, April the 12th. Something like that.
Is that at home?
Yeah.
Perfect.
If we match results and we beat them at home, then that's when it'll happen.
So basically, aye, and that's a buzz in itself that for Brenda's to get the boys up for it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, Kilmarnock, 12th of April. So, because if we beat them, we're going to be 16 points ahead, and there's only 5 games after the split. So, Kilmarnock would be the game,
Aye, happy days.
which would be good.
Everybody's
If they
Kind
win
of
all their
second.
games,
Yeah. If we match results apart from that game, apart from us beating them, then that's what it would be.
What do you think the chances are of them actually? Like, obviously, they're going to have that Barry Ferguson bump. I mean, or that new manager bump. Like, but what's the
But
chances?
most of us are hoping that keeps going.
I know, but like people are kind of like people have this distant sort of thought in their head already of going like hump Barry Ferguson's Rangers at Celtic Park.
But
again-
that's there's every fucking possibility that could happen. But you want it nice and close so that he keeps the job. Like you do not want a competent person coming into that fucking job.
Well, they couldn't afford a competent person
But no, I mean you want him to keep. You want him to stay on for.
unless Stevie G goes back. Stevie G's he's been turned.
There's no absolutely no chance of fucking Stephen Gerrard. There's more chance of me managing Rangers. There's no money. He's not coming back. It's not happening ever. He is not coming back to Rangers. Ever.
the thing that to me personally, I think, see the Barry Ferguson thing, they just hope it's like a Neil Lennon type thing.
Exactly.
Mine Lenny took over the reins with us and won the last, 7-8 games or whatever of the season, but
Brought the thunder back.
whoever was left, and I can remember standing there and they got an absolute standing ovation. And to be fair to Lenny, it was great for us, for a certain period of time. They done really well, and they're hoping that's what they get. But you've got to realise they're up against a different Celtic than Lenny was up against a Rangers.
I know, but Lenny had like a certain level of grounding in kind of coaching and being at that level to some degree. Barry Ferguson hasn't really had that.
Well, he has. He's managed 3 teams.
Aye, but not fucking like he hasn't really. Has he been a backroom staff to like Strachan? I mean, things he got there.
Aye, well, that's fair enough. That's a fair comment. But whatever. See, at the end of the day, it's like whatever. Let's face it. Barry Ferguson turned around to be the best manager in their history. It could happen. I don't think it will, but it could. Everything is a bit of an unknown because the guy doesn't come across as the brightest. Doesn't mean he was a class football player, but it doesn't mean to say he won't be a success with him, and he could be. And they're all hanging their hat on that he will be. Because one thing he gives them is dig, and he'll drill into what Rangers mean to them and stuff like that. And folk have made the comparison that because of the clubs that he managed before, and I kind of agree with this in a certain sense, that the clubs that he managed before, they weren't good players, and they were and he was a good player, and he played with good players, and he's trying to get them to do what he done. And I always think Roy Keane and stuff like that, when they go and manage lesser kind of players with them, they get frustrated because they can't do what they done. And then you take it back to, you're better off having managers that didn't play at the highest level to manage players to be good managers. Because when you play at the highest level and you then go into, like Wayne Rooney at Plymouth, you can't, you tell them to do stuff that you know in your head is the right thing to do at football, but they're not capable of doing that. So I don't know.
It's like somebody fucking who plays a guitar really well trying to teach you to play guitar. Going like, why can't you fucking do this after like 2 months? I mean, because you're at a different level than they're at. I mean, it's like it's very hard for somebody who's so good at something to comprehend at a level below them. Why can't you? Why can't you do the upgrade I'm looking for?
So he's now managing a set of players that can do stuff that he could do. So maybe it'll work out for them, and it could. You know, it's all right laughing and joking about it. Maybe it could. I don't know. I mean, none of us.
Yeah, I know, but I mean that's here. The quote of the week from Barry Ferguson is there's a lack of inconsistency, which I found very odd.
I mean, but he is a fucking. Everybody knows he's a fucking moron. Like, but what they're hoping for is that McCann and Dodds, who have a bit more fucking sense, are going to do the business with the team, and fucking Dopeball is going to be the face. Do you know what I mean? He's the staunch fucking former captain. Do you know what I mean? He's the fucking.
But at the end of the day, he's the manager. He picks the team.
I know, but Jason, we all know fucking managers who can work from behind and whatever else. You know what I mean? He's a fucking absolute goon. Anybody who listens to Go Radio knows that he's at his level on Go Radio.
The way I honestly think he's essentially a big staunch human shield for the board going fucking.
That's exactly what it is. We're giving you this
fucking
true ranger.
Here's the guy in your posters and DVDs you have at home. Here he is. Here he is. Follow him. By
the way, after Wednesday night, they're buying it hook, line, and sinker.
But that's my point. That's what I was saying. Jason, that suits us. We want that. And what you want is a nice close game at Celtic Park where maybe we win 2-0 and they go, it wasn't too bad. We were expecting to be at 9-0, 10-0. But good man, Barry. And we're going, and Rogers is going, good man, Barry.
I mean, at the end of the day, I'm not in the slightest bit concerned at all, right? Because, see, to be absolutely brutally honest, see if we keep Brendan Rodgers our manager, I just don't think they could possibly equal him. Because I think he's as you said, Marty, he's a top class manager. And he's proven it. And by the way, I doubted him. I did. And see after Borussia Dortmund. Because his first time with us, when we played away in Europe and stuff like that, we were hopeless. And I had my doubts. And I thought he was a kind of, no one-trick pony, but he was fucking limited. He's fucking made me eat the words. He's top draw. Top draw. I actually don't think we could get better than him.
No.
I don't think it's possible.
I was thinking the other day, Jason, right? He comes across as a guy who is very aware of his own presence and how it impacts people and what he can do with it, right? And with that comes obviously a certain sense of ego and a certain kind of gravitas and your kind of personage and your character, right? But I think
what was that first one you said there?
Personage.
I got that. What was the one you said the first time?
Personage.
Yeah, right. That was better.
Right. That's a latent stutter from when I was a kid. Thanks for pointing
out.
Sorry. Right. So anyway, the point is, right. I think one of the reasons that he made a left was that he wanted to see if that could carry at a level that he wanted to see if it could carry it again. And I think he's brought that back to Celtic now, and he's just using it to enhance Celtic. So I suppose say a genuine side to that.
Say that again, Joe, right? So the reason he left Celtic was because of what?
Because I think he is very aware of his own presence and how it impacts players, right? And how it impacts clubs. And he likes to see how far he can take that, right? So I think that's why he went back to the Premier League to go, can I take it that far again? Can I try and do that again? Right?
Right. So you've just said loads of words, but he just believed
I
in
know.
his own ability and he wanted another shot at the
Aye,
Premiership.
aye,
Right,
but then
okay.
he's kind of exhausted that now, and he's brought that now back to Celtic and thought to himself, right, well, I'll just keep doing this here to make this club great. I kind of feel like there's some kind of sort of master plan to some degree in the back of his mind, going like, if I could pull this off.
I'd like to think you're right, and I think you possibly could be, but I'm terrified to buy into it.
Aye, there's plenty of chances of a big earthquake along the way, but who knows?
Aye. And as usual, the only ones that can really fuck it up is Celtic.
Aye, well, that's true.
But I'm kind of with you there.
But here's the thing, right, Jason, and that's a very good point. So let's explore that fucking point. So Celtic have a framework that they work to, and you've got Michael Nicholson and do whatever the fuck, and Peter Lawwell above him. But surely the fuck, at some level, Dermot Desmond is watching going, give him whatever he wants.
Aye.
Surely, the Jesus Christ, he is seeing what's going on the macro level and going, never mind the day-to-day, give him whatever he wants. Keep him, give him a deal. We need him. Look what he's done. We're never going to get that level of coach. We're not like. Do you know who you're going to get? You're going to get an older coach coming down, on the way back down maybe, or a really young coach who's on the way up. You're never going to get that elite coach who's of his time to come to Celtic. So you'd just be saying, give him whatever the fuck he wants. We're absolutely loaded. What does he need? He knows he knows the ponds we need to fish in. And look where he has got us within 18 months. What the fuck? Like, you're hoping some sort of fucking sense breaks out among our board.
Well, that's the ideal scenario, Marty, and that's the actual go-to where I'm at.
Because
that's what I think is going to happen. I actually do believe that's going to happen.
Well, we know when Rodgers first was approached the second time around, he said no, and Dermot Desmond forced Nicholson and Mackay to go to Spain to speak to him. Aye. That's a fact.
Aye.
You fucking got on the phone, man. Get the fuck on the plane and go and don't leave until he comes back.
Yeah,
that was Desmond. You know what I mean? That's what happened.
And I honestly do believe, right, and I'm fucking getting pulled in now again to the fucking. I always said I would never ever be pulled in again, but I do believe Brendan Rodgers when he says that he had unfinished business, and I think he realised how much it hurt so many folk when he left.
And here's the thing, Jason. Here's the fucking thing. He went on and did a great job at Leicester. It's not like he went on and failed.
No.
So he could have bounced on to some other fucking club in Italy or Spain or Germany. I am positive he would have had plenty of options. He didn't actually need to come back to Celtic. And he'll be on much less with us than he'll be on in some fucking 5/8 team in England.
But here's the thing, right? Say like a fucking, I mean, this is wild talk, right? But say like a Real Madrid or something like that come in for him, right? I don't think that would happen. But you never know. You know, say like next season he takes us to the next level in Champions League, and say you get to the quarterfinals or the semis, or mental thoughts, right? And then like a Real Madrid or a Barcelona comes in for him. He's not got to stay, has he?
No, but that's all right. I don't really have a fucking issue with that, to be honest.
Because then we've lived our dream.
I know, but it's not that, Jason. He has elevated Celtic above and beyond. So the next manager coming in, you're saying to him here,
it's going to be a top manager.
He went to fucking Barcelona. It's like Larson going to Barcelona. I mean, we never. We were down, at that fucking stage. The board wanted to slice and burn.
The circle of life, isn't it? And it's just
said here. Brendan Rodgers came here, had a decent budget, didn't have a fortune, but look what he done. So why can't you?
Then are we in a position then to carve a niche in European football was being that kind of club with that kind of money that can attract a really good manager who, you know,
But we've got access to the Champions League every year if everything goes right.
that's what I mean. Like,
So,
is it like? I mean,
how
because
many
obviously,
how many managers manage in the Champions League? I mean, you have 5 tiers or 6 tiers of English football. Only 4 or 5 of those managers will ever manage in the Champions League.
I know, but it still doesn't mean we wouldn't send it some dud along the way. You know what I mean?
No, here that could happen to fucking any club. That could happen to Real Madrid. Football's not an exact science, but what you're saying is you've got a good board here who understand football and who are happy to back you if you're a manager. If you need to stretch the thing a wee bit, then they'll do it. You've got a fucking absolutely solid fan base who will back you to the fucking teeth, and you've got instant access to Europe every year if you win the league. And if obviously like our coefficient and the 100 coefficient is going to help us over the next years coming to get that instant access that we need. Also, Lowell sits at the top table with all them fucking clubs. Now, whatever you think about him, he's an operator, and he has carved that niche in Europe where Celtic are at the top table, totally against the run of play for Scotland. Scotland should really be a rural backwater. It's a one fucking for the last over a decade, almost 2 decades. It's been a one club fucking league, and Lowell's in there with them. Do you know what I mean? He squeezed fucking things, concessions out of them in terms of access to the thing, you know, where previous winners get extra points and all that sort of stuff. That was him. Do you know what I mean? So it's
yeah, and still
we're all very
critical
of the club. We're all very critical of the club on all sorts of different levels and for all sorts of different reasons. But as I say, I always like to stand above and have a fucking look around and go, we punch well above our weight for a European club. We are recognised as a European club. And at fucking times, we shouldn't be. We fucking shouldn't be. Some of our results have been diabolical in Europe, and some of our campaigns have been, fuck me. We've all been there. We've all been to the games. Do you know what I mean?
But we can all deal with here now, and this campaign has been absolutely fucking really good.
It has
certainly. I wouldn't say it's been the best in the world, but it's been fucking really near.
It has certainly
as good as I could have hoped for.
It has certainly done us absolutely no fucking harm, Jason. None at all. And it has put Brendan Rodgers again above and beyond. They're saying this guy fucking knows what he's doing. Do you know what I mean? And that, as I say, that result is funny because it was a Tuesday night game. Do you know what I mean? So that was talked about in Europe. Without a doubt, that match was being fucking talked about, actually hard close. Now, some people would have said, oh, it's Bayern Munich's fault, they weren't on the game, blah, blah, blah. But other people would be saying, and see what Joe was saying, or, you know, or what you were saying there about fucking like a Real Madrid or somebody coming from. Brendan Rodgers is friends with Ancelotti. He lives beside Klopp in Spain. Do you know what I mean? They all know each other. They regard him as a peer. They don't regard him as like a fucking lesser manager. They all love him. They get on well together, you know. So you can bet your balls he's been spoken about at that level. Without a fucking shadow of a doubt, they'll all be going, look at the fucking job Rodgers has done in that shitty league.
But does it work? But does it work the other way, then, Marty, as well, though? Does it work the other way? Does he also go, you know what? You'd want to taste that?
But this is the point that Jason was saying. He's been there and done it, and he has genuinely said, I have unfinished business here. Now, whether or not that means he just sees out his contract and goes, you know, nobody really would have any. I wouldn't have any issue with that. For fuck's sake, you came and done it and you got us up and blah, 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 and you've left us a fortune in the bank and a real good squad. Who the fuck's arguing? But the difference is the last time he left us during the season, and here's the rub, the Green Brigade had banners out on the fucking terrace saying, if you don't back this guy, we're going to lose him. And that's exactly what happened. We did lose him. And what stuck in our throats was he left during the league. He didn't see out to the end of the season. If he had left at the end of the season, I don't think anybody would have had any complaints. That says, thank you, off you go, and blah, 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 you saw out the league. Maybe some people would have had complaints, but in general, I think he would have got away late. And he has spoken about that, and he says he didn't understand or appreciate the damage he did and the hurt that he caused. And that takes balls. See, for somebody to turn around and say, listen, I made a fuck up. And that's how I think about it.
But Joe, I want to come in here because Marty makes some great points. And I totally agree with you, Marty, right? And see, the thing is, right? See if he sees out the 3 years right? He's got 1 year to go. If he sees out the 3 years and he leaves us, nobody will say a thing because he's honoured his contract, he's done what he's done, and he's gave us amazing times, but we'll all be fucking devastated. The thing is, as you say, Dermot Desmond or whoever there has got to go out. And by the way, I'll quote a man who's got no time for him at all. And he says, if he walked into my house for a cup of tea, I'd walk up the stairs. And he's a legend, and although he mentioned his name, but you all know him, he's the partner of the Duchess. But he turned round after Jeanette's Ma's funeral. He turned round and said to me, he says, regardless of what I think about the guy, he says, we've got to go out there and give him whatever he wants.
Yep, 100%.
Because he's got it. And see if Celtic match, we've got all the money in the bank, you make the guy a rich man, he's living, what a life he's living, right? He's done it, he's done the English Premiership, and I get that, see if an Inter Milan or a Real Madrid or whatever come in for him, whether they would or no, I'm not sure, but I think he's capable of managing at our level. I think he's capable of managing at the top tier. I think he's like up there with the best of them. But if we were lucky enough to get him to sign a long-term deal with us and take us, honest to God, the world's our oyster with him.
Jason, see when he come back 2 years ago, you did a pod. I wasn't on the pod, right? And you asked the question, or one of you asked the question, will he see out his 3-year contract? I've said this before on here, right? And you all said yes. You, Scott, Marty, and Joe. And I felt you'd asked the wrong question, right? I thought the question was, will he see out his 3-year contract if an offer comes in for him? And I still personally think if a club of a relatively decent size in Italy or Spain came in for him, I think he would leave us and go personally.
I'm not sure he would this time.
No, that's fine, mate.
But
fine.
Here's why. But let me explain why. Because he fucking knows the damn jobs will be available in a year. He has done himself no harm at Celtic. He can pick his fucking job when he leaves. I'm not saying he can pick any job, but he will have a choice of jobs in a year's time. Yeah,
Jason mentioned Inter Milan. Let's say Atalanta or Seville, or teams like top six, or on the periphery of the six in the big leagues.
Seville's shite now, Liam.
Right, I don't know where they are in the league, Jason. I'm just trying to talk to someone that's just off the top of the big leagues there, right? Bad example, maybe, but top 5, top 6 sort of team I'm talking about in those leagues.
Atalanta, the only way is down with him. Liam, Atalanta's derby is against Brescia, who's
right. I've maybe not picked the best examples, Jason, right? But just he's not going to get Real Madrid, Atletico Madrid, etc., right? Or Juventus, Milan. Well, I don't think he will personally.
Right. So see to me, right? I said it at the start. He will 100% see his 3 Europe, right? What happens after that, God knows. And if he leaves after the 3 year, he leaves with our best wishes, because he only signed a 3-year deal, and he came, and what he's done for us has been unbelievable. And it's like after Ange left, like we're like, fucking, will he ever be? He's fucking took it to another level that I don't think Ange was capable of. Maybe Ange would have done it, I don't know, but I didn't think he'd be capable of it. But as Marty says, Dermot Desmond has got to. And the thing is, we're kind of lucky that we've got Brendan Rodgers. He is one of us. He is. And it's like lucky as fuck that he's one of us.
No, listen, right? You never let me finish my point. Like 100% agree. No, I understand why you've come in and understand why you've said what you said. And 2 years ago, I would have said, no chance will he stay if he gets an offer from a mid to top tier team in one of those countries. And part of me still thinks that's true as well. But I do now. I'm much more assured that he'll stay with us longer term. And we are very blessed to have him. There's no doubt about that whatsoever. I think the board need to come out now, or Des McDermott or whatever, in the summer and publicly say or publicly talk about giving him a new contract and a contract extension, and put a bit of, not pressure on him, but let it be known they want to extend him and they're willing to give him what he needs, and push him forward.
I don't think they'll ever put pressure on him, because I think it'll all be done behind closed doors, which it was all done behind closed doors at the start.
I know, but there's a slight negativity about him with some fans still, and I think I think the club should come out and not come out, but just try and offer him a contract, or let it be known they want to keep him, and see whether it's a case of if he isn't settled, whether he wants to stay or not.
I get that, Liam, but I don't really care about the negativity with some fans, because I've still got a bit of negativity about him, and like loads have, and that'll never go away, right? But he's got the potential here to be like, I mean, to me, he's you're talking probably Martin O'Neill is second to Jock Stein now.
Yeah.
But he's on the cusp again by Martin O'Neill.
Jason, could you imagine where we? I've said this before. Could you imagine where we would be now if the Celtic board had backed Rodgers the first time?
Yep.
What the fuck?
I'll
completely out of sight.
No, Marty, I'll be honest with you. I'm not too sure. Because I think
you look at the players you were linked with, Fabian Schär and all the players they got who weren't at that time worth megabucks for like 7-8 million. We would have been
it's a fair point, right? But I think Rodgers has come back to us a better manager than he left us.
Well, that's a fair point, but like you can't argue with his fucking managerial record the first time round either. Jesus Christ!
No, but in Europe,
I mean, he just fucking wiped out the opposition. No, but that is a fair point. Maybe he has learned more.
I think he's come back. I think he's come back because Leicester won Europe.
Mm-hmm. Yep, that's right.
I think he's come back as a better manager than he left us. We've got a better manager now than we had. I think he would have ran out of steam regardless the first time if we'd backed him. I think he's come back as a far better manager than he was when he left us. I think he's up there with Ancelotti and all that now. I do.
Well, if you're making them sort of arguments, then it's incumbent on the Celtic board to keep him. And we'll go to them and say, listen, you need another 2 years here. You can't go off.
Marty, that's the point, right? So if you measure Rodgers on every metric, apart from Europe in his first spell, look at the money we're making under him. Look at the success we're having under him. Look at the profile we got under him. Fucking just honestly give him a piece of paper and a pen and just say, write some numbers.
What do you want?
Sign your name at the bottom, and on we go.
Our profit this year is X, and here's your chunk.
Honestly, fucking take 5% or whatever it is, and just on your
that's exactly it.
Suit yourself.
100%, Liam. And see, as I keep saying, Dies and Maid is irreplaceable. Brendan Rodgers is 10 times above that irreplaceable because we are never getting a manager like him again until.
But the other thing is, Jason, and I said it here before, nobody is talking about Kyogo. Nobody. We've lost our fucking talisman striker, and nobody has mentioned his fucking name. So what the fuck is going right? Like,
Marty, that's a really good. Right. So you finish your point, and I'll come back on it.
No, that is my point. What's going right? Something's going fucking right.
I know.
Do you know what I mean?
Right,
Something is going right.
So two segues we need to do there. One that Jason wants to talk about. I know that, right? About I've done a bit of homework, Jason. You'll be pleased to know. Just to amuse you on this point. Right?
So this is the English Scott McCurry here.
Right. So but before I do that, just probably my favourite ever line in one of the chats on the show is. Sometimes when Joe talks, I feel like someone has put my brain in a jar and swirled it around, which I think is.
I see that. I see myself.
That's the best thing I've ever read in the comments. I think. How do you think we feel fucking every week on here? So, yeah, we're with that one completely. So
the points are there. Raise your game. I mean, raise your fucking game. That's my point. I mean,
so two segues, right? Kyogo left in January, and we didn't replace him. And I've said my feelings on that one, and I stick by it. Right, but Mieida's been that good now in that position. He's been so good, and Ida's still there. There's a bit of a quandary now about what we do in the summer about replacing Kyogo, because up until from the time he's left until recently, you just automatically think we need someone as good as Kyogo in there. But what do you do if you bought someone of that level? And Mieida's playing it. I know he can play it. He's so fucking good at centre forward. What
Liam,
are we going to do now?
Liam, it's a great point I was thinking about. And do you know what? It's like you need. Do you replace Aida? Do you replace Aida? Because
it's an awkward one, isn't it?
Aye, because I don't want another centre forward in there to replace.
Exactly, Mieda.
Mieda is the ideal centre forward because see, I think we miss out so much when he's on the wing, because when he's up front, who's moving houses?
Marty's swimming underwater there, I think.
Right.
I'm sitting here. What's wrong?
That must be Joe then.
Oh, I'm
But
sitting there. I'm sitting on a settee.
Somebody's up to all sorts. But anyway, Maeda's got to be a centre forward. And Adam Ida thought to himself when Kyogo went, I'll be the main man. And now he's number 2 again. Let's get on.
That's my TV. Sorry, I just knocked the TV off.
To be fair, Jason, for the first few games, Ida was fantastic. He was brilliant. For 3 or 4 games, he looked every inch the player he was at the end of last season. He looked brilliant. But see that first half against Hibs on Saturday? Fuck me, man. He looked a complete and utter cart horse, man. Complete and utter cart horse. So, but it's not really about Ida, is it? It's more about Maeda's been so good, and if he continues to be so good, what do you do about it?
And the fact that you've got Jota and Kuhn on the wing, and you've got James Forrest come back from injury, all right. He's going to be another year older. And by the way, Yangers as well.
Yangers.
I'm telling you, I've no gave up on him. But
that boy, he has everything that a footballer needs.
Yeah.
Everything. If you could just fucking settle a cunt down and go, listen, you, let me tell you, that's what you do here. Maybe it's a language barrier thing. But he has ability, he has speed, he has touch, now he's started to get, we hadn't fucking scored a goal all season, now he's got 2.
Well, he scored like Sunday away.
He's got 3.
You know what I mean? He had no assists and no goals in like 20 matches or something, whatever the fuck it was, something ridiculous. But that's not my point. My point is, if you could find some way of managing the bastard, he would be a fucking star.
I think
that goalie on it was outstanding. I was actually, hand on heart, I have been really critical of him. I was actually relieved that he got that goalie on it. It was a tremendous goal.
He stuck at it despite
that's my point.
Give me his due.
But my point is, he could have fucked it up, and he scored it, and it was actually a feeling of relief. I was like, thank God he scored that, because he worked so hard to make it, to make the opportunity. He had the balls to do it. For God bless him. You know?
I think what Celtic do here is what most big clubs have done now. Is you transition to this. All your front 3 they're not centre forwards and they're not wingers. They're just forward players that can play any one of the 3 positions up front.
And I think it's a good thing. Do you know what I mean? If you're not reliant on a single man for all your goals, and I've just mentioned Kyogo. We weren't really reliant on him because the wingers had been so good. They were weighing him a goals, or the midfield were weighing him a goals. It's a good thing. Like it's like fucking proportional representation when you're voting. Do you know what I mean? It doesn't fucking matter who tops the poll. What matters is you bring everybody with you when you come in. So it's exactly that thinking.
And see if you look at the... Go on, Jason.
Sorry, Liam, let's face it. Maeda's only been playing up front for a number of weeks. But we've got 2 wingers that's near Maeda's on 25 and Hank and Kuhn's nearly 20.
Yeah, 18. And Jota's 3 and 4, I think, or 3 and 5 since he's come back.
Minutes played, it's unbelievable.
And see if you look at the league top scorers, I think Dessers, who's obviously ridiculed all the time, I think he's like fucking way ahead of anybody at our club at all. But we've got loads on the same sort of numbers, and
you only have to take a look at the goal difference to know what's going on.
yeah,
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
The goal difference is actually fucking. I don't mean this in like it's unbelievable. It's actually unbelievable. When you look at it, you're going, I can't believe this. Like Aberdeen are on -8 goal difference, and they're third. The Huns are like 35 goals behind us or something. It's actually incredible. You're going, how the fuck? What is this?
I remember hearing a stat a few weeks ago, and someone can disprove me if it's not right, but someone said that no Celtic strikers ever scored more than 20 goals in 2 seasons, 20 league goals in 2 seasons back to back for 10 or 20 years or something, which is fucking incredible when you think about it.
Who would have done it? Griffiths, maybe?
Well,
If that's
Larson,
wrong,
obviously.
somebody tell me, but
So Larson, Hartson, that they all done it, right?
No, but you're talking Griffiths or
I don't know. Well,
Stokes.
Dembele?
we need to have a look, but I'm certain I heard that stat somewhere.
How many years, Liam, did you say?
Quite maybe at least 10 more or more, I'm sure. Could be talking shite, but I'm certain I heard that stat.
Kyogo no score that for his first season, his second season. I know he
did say 20 years.
He was injured. He was injured lots in that time.
League goals as well. Remember, league goals I'm talking about, right? I'm sure someone can have a look into it for us. I'm sure someone can check it out, but it was league goals. I definitely heard it. So like, it could be shite, but as we've got players scoring. You know, we've got players on double figures all across the pitch, really.
Well, Dembele scored 26 league goals.
Yeah,
but did he do it twice?
Twice, Joe. 2 seasons back to back.
Do you know what? He didn't actually. Sorry, he didn't do it.
That's the thing. So you're talking about maybe Lee Griffiths, maybe done it for somebody like that.
But I'm sure someone said it was much more than that, Marty, like much longer.
No, I know. I'm not even arguing with it. I'm just saying that I'm trying to think of who would have done it over the last.
Got 40 goals and then 40 goals or whatever in that one season, but.
Yeah, but he was obviously another one who was fucking had his own demons. He didn't.
But I'm sure we'd all agree that any centre forward at Celtic or Rangers, for that matter, should be 20, 25 league goals a season.
100%. No, but the point being is that that's not the system that Rodgers is playing. He's playing an all-in system, which is far fucking better because you're not relying on if one dickhead gets injured, you're fucked. Right. You know what I mean? So.
Aye, but the point is, I think Liam's point's solid because who cares?
No, 100%.
If you're getting 3 people chipping in with 20 goals rather than one with 30, 100%. And everybody else with 4 and 5, you look at Ed McGeady. Ed McGeady, when I looked at his goal scoring record, it's shocking when you think about it. And what a player he was. But Scott made the point on our chat that it was a different game then. You know, because you were a winger and you had to get the ball in for the centre forward to score the goal. But now it's like inverted wingers and you're pulling inside and you're getting the goals. And it's totally different.
Yep, 100%.
Right.
100%.
But it's massively interesting times for Celtic. And the thing is, we've always fucking slagged the board, and because we always say the only fucking team that can fuck it up for us is Celtic, and we're at that position now that no for a domestic sense, but maybe it's get carried away here because of the European performance, but I believe we're on the cusp of some greatness here. And forget 10 in a row shite. I couldn't give a shit, right? But see, in Europe, we kind of made our mark, but only really for us, because nobody else in Europe will really take much fucking interest in that, because we still get beat with Bayern Munich, and that was it. We get out the group, we get beat with Bayern Munich, and that's it. And we're forgotten about now for the vast majority of Europe. But for us, we've seen a massive upturn in our form against good teams. And albeit Dinamo Zagreb away, not that good a team, we didn't really perform there. Borussia Dortmund was a car crash. But for every other game, I think every other game, out the 10, we can't really have many complaints. You know, and it's like, That's Champions League. That's no playing Europa League. That's no. So Celtic board just need to give Brendan Rodgers what he wants, give him it, and hopefully he stays with us. But see if he leaves at the end of the 3 year, he'll go with all our best wishes because he's done unbelievable things, but we'd all be absolutely fucking sick.
But is it not a huge opportunity to do something? In the evolving modern market of football, is it not a great opportunity for a guy like him to go, you know what, I can plant a flag here?
Aye, because he's nearly. See what I wanted to say something there, so just say it now, right? But this is totally different. But see when Everton had Ancelotti, right? The Everton fans were over the fucking moon, and they gave him some great results and whatever. But see, as soon as Real Madrid came calling, he went to Real Madrid. Not one of them complained because they're like, oh, it's fucking Real Madrid, right? And see if Real Madrid come in for Brendan Rodgers, not one of us would fucking complain because it's Real Madrid, right?
So say on that point, Jason, right, and the point you made earlier, Marty made earlier, right? So ignoring the fact that one of the bigger clubs in Europe comes in for him, under what circumstances is he going to leave us then, right? Because he keeps telling us about this is he's settled, his family's settled, he couldn't be any happier. Assuming no big club comes in for him, on what circumstances is he going to leave?
I think the only other circumstance is the board don't back him.
That'll be catastrophic. Fucking, you know.
But the thing is, he's a clever guy, right? But I don't think he's going to be asking astronomical amounts of money that we can't afford, because we're not going to get to the stage of with our business model. It's just he's involved in our business model, right? He's part of that. I'm sure he's part of the conversation. So he's never going to expect to sign guys like fucking Hearts and Sutton, etc. At the end of their they weren't at the end of their careers when they signed them, but he's not going to be the guy that's going to say you need to give the guys whatever, and then their career's finished and there's no selling value. He's fully invested, I'm sure, in our model. So I don't see the board no back him. I actually think, all things being equal, if a top team in Europe doesn't come in for him, then he stays with us.
Well, that's my exact point. So I mean, like, everyone's happy here. So why would this not carry on the way it's carrying on? He's signing players at big fees for us, young players with value added onto them. We're paying wages, obviously, to keep the players that we've got, more or less, because that's proven by the fact they're still here. We've got more money in the bank than we've ever had in our whole history. We've got saleable assets everywhere, and we've got a decent crack at the Champions League pretty much every year moving forward. So, I mean, what it's hard to see what's going to change things unless there's a big fallout somewhere.
Aye.
And Lowell's not there materially anymore, we'd hope to think.
No, definitely. So, I just don't want to get fucking too carried away.
I just wish we'd come out and just fucking.
Well, we just done the life and death of Brendan Rodgers' fucking career here at Celtics. We have the entire fucking 2.5 hours we've been on here. We've gone from fucking the start to the end. I mean, I just don't want to think about these things right now, to be honest with you. I'm kind of like trying to enjoy what's happening. I do want to believe that after 3 years, Brendan Rodgers will just decide to continue things and we'll all be rejoicing. There's so many variables, so many options, but I mean, I think he came back to at least do his time. That I want to believe, and that's as far as look.
I've came round now, Joe, and like obviously I said he'd see his 3 years out, but that was a guess, right? But I'm now 100% convinced he'll see his 3 years out. But I am praying now that we push the boat out and give him what he wants, because he deserves it. He's took this club to a level that I didn't think was capable of. See, 10 years ago, you said we spoke about this. I'm saying we're going to be facing getting beaten Europe 10-0 if we're in the Champions League with Bayern Munich and stuff like that. See now, no chance.
I mean, what do you reckon he earns, Jason? What's he on? 3 million a year or something just now? Is that the rumour? More. But I mean, even if we had to pay him 5 million a year, but it's nothing for Celtic really in the bigger. You know, that's one man you can punt at any time, as opposed to 10 shit players that we give fucking £2 million a year, and we've got hundreds of them we've done recently.
Yeah, 100%.
It's a no-brainer, man.
I wonder what does Ancelotti get out of Real Madrid?
Don't know. Marty's a finance man. I have to check with him.
Oh fuck! I wouldn't have a fucking clue. Can I tell you? I wouldn't give a fuck.
Fucking
But
water
here-
slides full of money, I'd say.
But the thing is too, right? What age is Rodgers?
He's the same age as 50, he's 52, Marty.
Early 50s.
Same age
right?
as
So
me.
early 50s. So it's like Bayern Munich or Ajax. Like Scott put up a story in one of the chats the other day about ex-players coming back and managing clubs. Not being the manager of clubs, but actually involved in the administration of clubs. And that's what we should be aiming for. We should be aiming for ex-Celtic people to come back and say, right, you're here as a coach, but in 10 years you're going to be on the board, or you're going to be on we're going to have a sporting directors board and we want you on it. And that's what you should be looking at for Rodgers, to say, listen, this is a long-term plan here. Dermot Desmond is in his late 70s. He's going to be dead soon. You know what I mean? He's going to die, and his shareholding is going to be passed on to Ross Desmond. Therefore, you should be building those relationships now to say, right, we have a 30-year vision for this club. Like, and football is notoriously short-termed. Like, everybody just thinks about the next transfer window and the money you have in your budget and stuff like that, but it's actually a really poor way to run a fucking football club when you think about it. Especially a club like ours, which has a completely solid season ticket base that's never going to change. Like, my child's coming up and he's going to support Celtic exactly the same way I did, and that's the same for 60,000 other people and more. So you don't have those worries. You don't have to worry about replenishing your supporter base. It's already there, and it's going to be there in 50 years fucking time.
It's not just that, Marty, right? I had never even mentioned this there. I had Dutch boys. Look, I've got mates at Foley Road at JC, and Atlan texts me. That was months ago. He says, "Listen," he says, one of our friends, Lambert's a good pal of mine as well. He says his work colleague, they've been dying to come to Celtic Park for years, but I don't like giving you hassle. So, but he says if you could get these two guys tickets. So I ended up getting them 2 tickets just by luck. There was 2 free lounge tickets. And got them in the lounge. And the 2 boys, fully NEC Nijmegen.
Nijmegen, huh?
I met him outside the front. Met him at the superstore. And first thing I said to him is, "You better not follow the Ajax." No, we don't. so they come in with us and took him into Sea Stadium. And old Bill was there for Newry as well, my mate Bill for Newry. A boy for the huddle board texted me, Bill's his dad, and he was at an Everton game. And sorry, he was doing the Liverpool for a stag weekend, and Everton were playing at home, and he liked Everton. He says, "Any chance get my dad a ticket?" So I got my ticket. He was sitting next to me, so I ended up having a few pints with him as well. So I've kept in contact with Bill. So Bill was there, and the 2 Dutch boys, and they're like, "This has been the best day of my life." I took them into Gracie's after the game. Harper was in there. Fucking, they were just like, honest to God, what is going on here? Like, this has been the best day of our life. And these are Dutch guys.
And that's my major criticism of us, Jason. I swear to fuck, like, we aren't, like, Celtic used to be the underdog and we used to be the fucking poor mouth, and you know what I mean, the club that you patronise, and you know, all the fucking lefties like them and stuff. Celtic now are an absolute world force in football. And I've outlaid it earlier on where Peter Lawwell sits in terms of Europe and that sort of thing, you know. And we should be having like a 30-year strategy. When Peter Lawwell's dead, when Dermot Desmond's dead, when Michael Nicholson's in the fucking home, here's where we're going to be, and here's how we're going to do it. we should be doing that work now, because I've said this for fucking years. This is the first time in our history we have ever had the opportunity to actually build on success and to say, here, we don't give a fiddler's fuck about any other team, about what league we're in. Nothing. That thinking is not what we're here for. We're here to say we want to be the absolute best that we can be, and here's how we're going to do it.
We're going to build a
And-
dome
and
over
re-
the Merchant City and call it the Fenian Quarter.
Well, but Joe, there's another 32 counties, another Irish bar
Huh?
opening in Glasgow city centre. Scott McCoy.
Well, to be fair, this is the same bar that Joe spent the best with Liam, the best Thursday ever in the world.
And it was the best Thursday ever.
But listen,
best Monday, Thursday ever.
Hang on, like, no, I mean, I'm not getting into it. All I'm saying is there is a movement happening here that Celtic are quite cool, and that fucking, like, Jason has completely hit it on the head. There are two men coming over and had the best football experience I've ever had. We're watching all these fucking moron YouTube cunts turning up at Celtic Park, you know what I mean, and extending the name of Celtic among that level of fucking moron, which is beyond my ken, frankly. Millions upon millions of them. And we should be trying to capitalise on that now by saying, here's our vision for the next 30 years. Fergus McCann was a long time ago. 30 fucking years. Think about it.
It's
So where are we
birthday,
going
aren't
to
they?
be? No, but I'm not talking about Fergus McCann, the person. I'm talking about Fergus McCann, the activity. That's 30 years ago, 1985. Do you know what I mean? So where the fuck are we going to be in 30 years' time? And that's what our club should be building now. They should be getting out of the next transfer window. And while that's important, like, we will all be talking about that during the summer. As soon as the league's wrapped up. As soon as the league's wrapped up, or as soon as the Scottish Cup final's over, if we get there.
See the one thing that gives me hope that they are going to be doing what we're hoping they're going to be doing is Arnie Engels.
Yeah,
See,
exactly, Jason.
signing
sense,
a
yes.
young kid like him for 10 million. That's showing what we want to be doing. You know, you scour Europe, you scour South America, you scour, but young players, you gamble, and you're not kind of. It's a gamble, but it's a gamble with a bit of insight in it, and you bring them to the club. And if things work out well, then all's good, and it's looking like it's working out well with him.
He's progressed a lot.
Aye. But the thing is, you look at the Rotten Mob. How far do you think they're off buying projects at 10 million?
But see to flip that backwards, Jason. I remember Tommy Burns talking, probably in 1985. Not kidding you. And he was talking about Jackie McNamara, and he was talking about Phil O'Donnell. And he said, these players have not been brought in for this season. These players are brought in for the future. And he says, I am planning for the future. Now, it didn't work out with Phil O'Donnell for mostly injury reasons, but it fucking worked out for Jackie McNamara. He was there for another 10 years.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? And that's the sort of kind of thinking that we need. We need to be going, where is this club going? Where do we want to be? Do we want a brand new stadium in 30 years' time? Okay, if so, how do we plan for that? It's not beyond the realms of fucking possibility you're going to need it, or does the stadium need it upgraded or whatever? Because it does. It's 30 years old. And as I say, we're in a sort of a position that other clubs would fucking completely kill for. Do you know what I mean? You have a completely solid supporter base that's going to regenerate itself over the next 30 years. It's not going to go down. Do you know, it's not.
Marty, I've got a lot of views on what you just said there. I think we should park it for another show in Scotland, to be honest. But I've got a lot of views on what we should do with the stadium development.
Give us a couple of your points, Liam.
No, but maybe we'll do it during this close season or something, or an international break or something that we'll get our teeth thrown into. So, but that's not even really my point. I'm not even talking about the stadium. I'm just talking about the whole club in general.
Wrap it up.
And as I say, Scott, there was a lot of food for thought in that thing that he had put up the other day about regenerating your club via old players coming back who care about the club and who are good at football. And so, to give you another example, you had Graham Souness absolutely fucking slaughtering the Huns board because none of them had a fucking clue. They were all kind of well-meaning dickheads. Do you know what I mean? They all loved Rangers, but they were basically fucking clueless. Do you know what I mean? And he could see it. He was going, the board are fucked. You know what I mean? There's no football people on the board that don't understand football. They haven't got a clue. They're just kind of doing their best. And, you know, and our board is different. Our board is actually quite astute when it wants to be. And so we should be having those conversations now where we're sitting nice and fucking pretty and we're winning leagues and we're about to overtake trophy halls and fucking blah, blah, blah. With a few pound in the bank, we should be going, right, well, what the fuck? What's the vision here for when I'm dead? You know, as I say, some fucking trees are planted by men in whose shadow they will never sit. And that's where we should be. We should be planting them fucking trees now that are going to bear fruit in 20, 30, 40 years. But as I say, you're probably right, Liam. That's probably for an ornate.
I think so. Jason, just at a very high level, I think we should just lift all the corporate stuff out of the where it is now, put it into redevelop main stand, and you could bring the attendance up to about 60, 65 grand.
And I think that's a non-starter with the board.
Yeah, but you take the corporate and you put them in a redeveloped main stand.
You
can have as normal seats again.
But hang on, Liam, Jason, it's probably a non-starter with this board.
Aye.
My point being, this board are all going to be dead within 10 years. They're all old men. Yeah. Lawwell, Desmond, fucking Wilson, they're all going to be dead in 10 years. See young people like Ross Desmond and people like that, they're the people that we should be focusing on. Who's next? And say, right, what do you want? And how can we do it? Let's get a plan together, because it's not nothing, absolutely nothing that we would be involved in is beyond the realms of possibility. None of it.
Jason, how many's in Club Celtic there? Is it 2,000 down that side?
2,000, I think I was wrong.
Do you know what? See if you move them and put them into a redeveloped north main stand, you created a Celtic end behind the goal, and anyone that didn't want to be in it could move to them premium seats, kind of in that position. You could solve so many things in one go there, really, without going overboard with the number of seats in there. Keep it to 63, 65 or whatever, you know, and you'd increase your money massively as well, the way you did with the kind of corporate stuff in the main stand.
But you've got to realise, Liam, once you hit the Ronnie Dyla years, once they increase the stadium size, you've got to realise that crowd drops to
but Jason,
30-odd thousand.
You can't run a business based on what worst case scenario, you know.
I get that. I get that.
There were particular circumstances around that, and again, it was our fans saying the board are dicks. They're fucking wankers, and they're not pushing the boat out. And you know what? The converse of that is the day Brendan Rodgers turned up, and 25,000 people turned up on like a Monday afternoon to show that the support was still there.
I was there, wasn't it? 25,000.
Well, whatever.
10,000 anyway.
It was like a 3 o'clock on a Monday or something.
Officially, it was 17,000.
I was there.
You know what I mean?
The reason it's another conversation is because, you know, ultimately Celtic might be playing in a European league in 5 years, or a version of the Champions League that's a European league. So it's a whole new discussion point, right? Which is worth a pod on its own. I
definitely think it is. We'll do it. There'll be an international break. I'm sorry. We'll make McCarty do a bit of work.
Yeah, and the national breaks next week.
All right, well, sure. But Scott, as I say, Scott put that thing up and I'm not sure if he put it into our group or one of the other groups that I'm in with him, but it was a dead interesting article, and it was about how Ajax and the teams were bringing back old players, and they had fundamentally, it was their club, and they wanted the best for it, and they were prepared to fucking work for it, and they were prepared to join boards and give their ideas and things like that, because ideas are free. Do you know what I mean? But it takes a vision and a backbone to actually put them into, you know, it takes balls. And that's what I'm saying. My attitude is like, I'm 45, and over my supporting life, apart from winning the fucking European Cup, I've seen it all. I've seen us in Champions Leagues, and I've seen us getting fucking put out of the fucking Conference League by Bodo Glimt. I've watched this fucking struggle to win leagues. I've watched us get beat by the Huns. I've watched us lose last day, last day defeats, and I've watched us losing leagues by 20 odd points. On our lives, we've seen it all. You know, apart from winning the big cup. So you're always...
Marty, see my younger days. Our highlight...
You had it fucking... All right, you grew up in the 80s, you were flying.
I don't know, to start with. And then it fucking Charlie Nicholas left and my fucking world fell apart.
Went off a cliff.
But the thing was,
But that's an
Was it-
interesting comparison for this season, Jason. So he would have been like your that generation's Kyogo.
oh, no. 10 times more than Kyogo.
No, but you know what I mean. He was your like iconic striker. He was always going to win you matches and get you out of holes.
Ah, but he was a Celtic man. He was one of us. It's
Well,
totally
fair enough.
different. It's totally
Right, fair
different.
enough. Fair enough.
But see, like when you go back to the fucking, when you think about it, see when you go back to like the 90s, we were playing Middlesbrough away. Tony Mowbray's testimonial. That was your European away trip.
Oh fuck me, 100%. Like you wouldn't get like if Man United rocked up for a friendly now, you'd struggle to fill it unless it was for charity, unless it was for Soccer Aid or something. But in our day, that was like the highlight of the year was playing some fucking team at the end of the year.
There was a period we weren't even qualified for Europe. Finished
we finished
the league.
Big time, 100%. Yep. So, and I think back to when Chris McGuigan did the history, the Celtic history podcast, which were fucking outstanding.
Oh, amazing.
They were absolutely.
I need to get back and listen to them.
So I think we're on the Celtic Wiki. I think you can still download them. But my point being is like at every opportunity that Celtic had to push on throughout our history, we fucked it. We half-arsed it, or we were too small-minded. We were run by wee men like Desmond White and cunts like that. And now, actually, I think we have the opportunity to say, do you know what? No, we will have everything we need here to actually. The next 100 years are going to be a lot fucking different. You know, if Trump doesn't wipe us all out, do you know what
I mean? and that's possible.
But I think there should definitely be pause for thought and see somebody like Brendan Rodgers. That's the sort of pitch that somebody like Dermot Desmond should be putting to him.
100%.
I'm gonna be dead in 10 years. You've got 40 left. What do you want for this club? My son will be here. Let's work on a vision and let's do this thing, whatever it is. Let's work it out now.
But,
and that's what you hope. That's the fucking hope.
Yeah.
And Marty Rodgers has actually said multiple times he's here looking at the whole element of the club, root and branch. Right from youth. I know we've got.
But everybody says that like fucking Postecoglou fucking said that too. You know what I mean? It's like it should be. It's like what's the pitch? The pitch is whatever stamp you put. Tommy Burns was brilliant at it. Like it takes that type of what's the word? It's like altruism. You know what I mean? You're not doing it because you're getting paid to do it. You're doing it because you love it.
Yeah.
Like, and I remember Tommy Burns bringing over the Ajax coaches. No, do you remember? And going, fuck, that's mad. You know, when you're a kid, you're going, oh, that's a bit mad. But then you look at it and you go, what a fucking great idea. Trying to, like, letting a fresh pair of eyes look at what you're doing and then your coach is being inspired by what someone else is doing. It was actually fucking genius. I know we hit Ajax, but it was a brilliant thing to do.
That's something Tommy Burns and Brendan Rodgers probably share, is that football's a vocation more than a job.
Well, that's true, Joe. And see, whenever they put Tommy Burns in charge of the youth development, he brought in a computer scientist to run the Celtic youth, a guy called John Stevenson. He was a systems analyst and he analysed the system and went, that system's fucked, get rid of it. Here's the one here. And we got tons of youth players through from his system. And then he was talking about Gregory Dupont, the fitness guy who McGeady always credits with his development. Gregory Dupont was making McGeady run with a car tire strapped to his back. It was totally out of the box thinking. It was fucking amazing. It's such a pity Tommy Burns died when he did. Like, it's a source of fucking real annoyance to me, you know what I mean? Because he had that out of the box thinking. He loved Celtic and he was just prepared to go out and look at whatever options are out there. Let's have a fucking look.
See, I think Tommy Burns.
Joe. Sorry. The Tommy Burns dying was actually heartbreaking fucking for many Celtic fans. Fucking, he was Mr. Celtic. But Joe, did you just say a wee comment there that Tommy Burns and Brendan Rodgers says football is a vacation, isn't it?
No. I said they share the kind of similarity as that football's football is more of a vocation than a job to them.
I thought he said that. How fucking miles out is that? Brendan Rodgers is getting paid millions of pounds a year. And Tommy Burns lived and breathed Celtic for the day he was born to the day he died.
Well, I'm not. I didn't say Celtic. I said football, and it's
No,
different. times as well.
no. You just, Joe, I appreciate all your great quotes and stuff like that, but please put that in the bin. Tommy Burns was Mr. Celtic. Tommy Burns lived and breathed Celtic, and that's all that man loved. But the man lived for his family and for Celtic and for the church.
Would you say then when he went to Kilmarnock, he didn't do as much of a job then because it was Kilmarnock?
No.
Well, then that's the point I'm making, is the football vocation more than his job.
Right, okay, but Tommy Burns...
You're skewing the point I'm making in order to fucking make your own point. And my point was that I see the two of them as looking at football as a vocation rather than a job, and that doesn't necessarily mean it's a level-based thing. It means hang on.
Right, Joe.
Hold on.
No. Let me reply here, Marty. I get what you're saying now. Sorry, football is a vocation. No Celtic.
That's exactly what I said.
Right, sorry.
My point.
Misunderstood you, Joe. Apologies. Right.
But my point is that it's not really about the personalities, right? And that is my point. Like, as I say, Dermot Desmond, Peter Lawwell, Michael Nicholson, they'll all be dead in 10 years or 15 years, whatever the fuck. I'm not crying death on them. I know, but that's what I'm saying. I'm not crying death on them.
People are dying fucking left, right, and centre.
You know what I mean? So what we need to be saying is that we're at a real juncture of our club. Football, as we know it, is fucked. It is not going to be the same in 50 years as we grew up with, or the previous 150 years grew up with, because you have these vulture capitalists involved who are going to fucking mould football in their vision, and that is coming. We can all see it. It's been a tonic this year with the way the Champions League changes have happened. It's been brilliant because you can actually go, well, you can see here possibly an antidote to it, but if, for example, 2 or 3 of the bigger teams 1 year or 2 years maybe don't get through, there'll be fucking more change coming. So it's how we insulate ourselves to that and how we make Celtic the best club we can be. And I picked Tommy Burns just as an example. There's other Tommy Burnses here now who care as much about Celtic as we do and as Tommy did. And Tommy Burns, the point being, Tommy Burns actually fucking created some of those. So one of the people who was talked about the other day was Darren O'Dea, who's back in the fucking club. Darren O'Dea stood that night we won the league with the Tommy Burns shirt at Dundee United.
Tommy Burns is...
He loved him.
Tommy Burns to me is the ultimate Celt.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like, to me, there's nobody comes close to him. And sorry, Joe, I apologise again, right? Because I went off on one there, right? And you'd said football, you didn't say Celtic, right? So I totally apologise.
It's apology season, Liam.
Aye.
I'm still waiting for mine, don't worry.
Right, that's Joe got his. Liam, you'll be waiting a fucking while, I'll tell you.
He might be coming sooner than you realise.
All right, you got a bit of ammunition there, have you?
I've got a bit tucked away, don't worry.
Right, Joe, so do you know what? I'll probably listen back to this podcast just to find that bit, and I've never listened back to it, man. The last time I listened back to a podcast because they said can I hangman it? Fucking, it was about 2 years ago, man. Fucking you. What was that again? It was a boxing thing.
Aye, just to find out who was right and who was wrong.
That's the last time I've listened to a HomeBhoys podcast. It was a boxing one. Aye, but anyway, Tommy Burns.
You didn't need to because Joe argued against himself twice anyway. In that
I went round in circles. I boxed myself.
But anyway, Tommy Burns, Mr. Celtic, and nobody. At the end of the day, the guy was born with a fucking eye shot Celtic Park, baptised in St Mary's Chapel, fucking just everything about him, just Mr. Celtic. And I thought you were comparing him with Brendan Rodgers, right? But the thing is, Brendan Rodgers is a multi-millionaire. Tommy Burns lived and died for Celtic and didn't die a multi-millionaire. And it's like, but he would have gave everything for Celtic. When he went to Kilmarnock, because the Celtic job wasn't there. Celtic
See,
job came.
but with Tommy Burns, the way I look at it is like Tommy Burns, he gave his best to Celtic, right? That's where he wanted to do his best, right?
But Joe, see the difference. See if Real Madrid had come in for Tommy Burns, he wouldn't have went.
Exactly. There's a difference.
He'd have stayed.
I know, but I mean, my similarity in their kind of supposed to approach them, kind of trying to explain, is that like both of them at different levels approach football in the same sort of like this is what I do and this is how I do it. I mean,
a philosophy in football.
Exactly. I mean,
yeah, I've dug you a hole there, haven't I?
We've kind of done a bit of digging each other, man. Right, how long?
Right, I've got one more thing.
Wrap it up, Duff.
No.
Wrap.
Liam's got one more thing.
Wrap.
I'm going to get fucked here, aren't I?
No, not at all. This is,
We're 3 hours now. This is a lengthy one.
I'm giving you your platform, Jason. Okay, you were going to dig me up at the game. We didn't get round to it, so I'm going to let you have your. Going to give you a say tonight. Give you a platform.
What was that?
About my Ada getting sold for 10 million or less.
Aye. Well, it's not really an issue. So basically, you tell the listeners, no me. You're the one.
Well, no, we were just chatting last week. Just in general stuff about transfers and whatever players and blah blah blah. And I just gave an off the cuff opinion based on not much really. Just that I wasn't convinced that Maeda would get more than 10 million for him, just because he's a bit unconventional and just not the norm for the bigger clubs really. And I didn't really think too much about it. And then you gave me a tug at Hibs at half time on Saturday and went, I've not forgotten about that, by the way. Your comment about Maeda for the 10 million. I was like, I'd forgotten about it as soon as it left my lips.
How are you? I fucking hell on that one.
See, at the end of the day, it's all about opinions. And
exactly.
Just like arseholes have all got them.
But
I'm actually terrified somebody comes in for a massive bid.
So am I. But what I've done, just for you, is I've done a little bit of research on this, right? And I'm going to turn it into a quiz for you because I know you love quizzes. Right, so this is all for you.
Here we go.
All for you, right? So
I'll get these all right.
Yes,
I'm going to put you on the spot now. Right. So first question, simple one. How old is Dides Maeda?
26.
Higher.
27.
27. Right. So question 1, 27. Question 2. How many players in Celtic's history have we sold for double figures or more?
What the fuck's that got to do with Eisen?
Well, I'm getting there.
Right, okay.
How many players have we got? Well, because I said we wouldn't get more than 10 million for him, right? So 10 million is double figures. So
how many have we sold for more than 10 million?
10 million or more. That's important because there's been a few at 10 million.
Right, okay.
It's a bit of fun, so it's not. Don't worry, it's not a right or wrong.
Right. I'm trying to think.
And Joe and Marty, you can join in, by the way. So how many have we sold for 10 million or more? Just a guess.
Fuck. I guess I'm going to say 5.
I'm guessing about that.
More than 5. Do you say 5?
Oh, no. But it's round about. See, right, think about it. You've got Jota, Virgil van Dijk.
Oh, I fuck.
Matt Riley.
Stuart Armstrong.
No, he isn't. He's fucking no.
Isn't it?
I'll just fucking repeat what Joe said there.
Just have a rough guess.
You
we'll
keep
go
quiet.
through individually, don't worry.
I would say I guess 7.
Okay, Joe.
I'm going to say 8 now.
Joe.
Marty, you want to have a guess?
8.
7, 8. Marty, what are you going for?
What is the question again? Sorry.
How many players have Celtic sold for 10 million or more in their history?
It must be 4.
Right, 4, 7, 8. Right, you're all wrong. It's higher than that for all of you.
Is it? No way. So
Yeah.
hold on then. So you've got Dembele.
Hold on.
Aye, so we're going to go through them.
So we've sold 11 players for that value.
Really?
That's amazing.
Wow.
So McGeady doesn't count. He was 9.
No, well, it's not 10, is it?
Well,
No, that's what I'm saying. So like, I'm trying to think of people who would think, fuck, we made a fortune on him, but he wasn't one.
Hold
So
on.
Kieran-
Jason's on the spot here still, right? So I'll come back
Alright,
to you in
sorry.
a minute. So Jason, Dyson Made is 27. How many players have Celtic sold for more than 10 million who's older than 27 or equal to?
All right. Okay.
Just because you like facts, that's all. I'm just going to
I
give
would
you.
say probably 0.
There's been one,
1. Who was that?
and you can guess it between you.
one player that was sold for double digits
Yeah, one.
that was older than what?
Older than 27.
Older than 27.
Yeah.
Has to be Dembele, no?
No, he was fucking 22
Was
or so.
But he looked 20 fucking 9, didn't he?
He's not on my list, by the way. So unless this list is wrong, but he's not on my.
Kyogo, surely.
Kyogo, well
Yeah.
done, Marty.
So he's 29, isn't he?
Oh, he's right.
But he was 30 years old when he left us.
Aye, so I was arguing that about Kyogo this year. Like he's getting on a bit, but he's also really injury prone, that shoulder, and he needs fucking surgery. So we actually did it. I actually think it wasn't a bad fucking deal.
Absolutely correct. So
I tell you what, Skip, you've actually done me.
so
But,
I haven't finished yet.
People know I know fuck all, but they expect more to you.
but I had a big butt there, but on you go, Skip.
Okay, so after Kyogo, what's the next oldest outfield player we've sold for double figures?
Right, so is this
You
just for
talk
Jason?
about- you talk about over what age?
So younger than 30, and Fraser Forster was 26 when we sold him for 10 million. So I'll give you that one. So outfield players, who else? What's the next oldest player we've sold under 30 for double figures?
No, I'm confused here.
Okay,
Still
right,
got an age limit here.
Right, so Kyogo was 30 when we sold him, right? So who's the next, apart from Fraser Forster, who was a goalkeeper, who's the next oldest outfield player we've sold for double figures?
Okay.
Right.
So,
No caps on there. Just what's the next age limit if you go down the way?
So below 30 then.
Below 30, Joe.
well, just whatever age.
I'm going to hazard a guess and say it's Kieran Tierney.
No.
Nah, he's young.
Oldest, Joe. We're not going for youngest, oldest here.
Oh, right.
So next oldest.
I'm shit at this stuff.
It's just it's a bit of fun. It's a bit of fun. Don't worry. You're not on. Anybody want to put a guess?
Give us a second.
Is there hints? Is there like?
Right. So something below 30 years old. Right? It's not hard. Right. And above 16, obviously, when the
Virgil van Dijk,
yes. Who was how old when we sold him?
24.
28.
24.
Is he 24? I thought he was a lot younger than that.
So
24.
Van Dijk and Jota were both 24 when we sold them.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the statement is, Jason, we've sold 11 players in our whole history for double digits, and only one of them has been older than Mieda.
Well, who's Kyogo?
He went for 10 million.
He went for 10 million.
So my question back to you is, how many of them were the most unique football player in the world?
Yeah, no, listen, I get that. I agree with you.
He's making your point for you, and now you're fucking trying to double down on him.
No. He's not making my point. He's making his point.
I know
Exactly.
I know.
He's making his point, Joe. Get with the program here.
I know.
So I was quite pleased to do the research and prove I was right. That was good.
I like that, Liam. How long did that take you?
About 3 minutes.
Oh.
This is the guy. He's telling us he's busy at work.
Yeah, exactly.
But Joe, Jason's been telling me all my what I'm allowed to have an opinion on all week, so I thought I better put some bit of research in there.
You're quite right, mate. You're quite right.
You know what?
By the way, a wee shout out right now, right? I've just checked the score there. Boca Juniors have beaten Rosario Central 1-0. Young Eamon's at the game tonight. See Rab's grandson.
Saw that.
Eamon.
Saw that.
Aye, he's there. He's at the game tonight. So he's when is
Is that
that?
on there? It must be on fucking.
Aye,
I'm trying
it's on
to get
there.
that on my fire stick. Well, you should have fucking told me that earlier on. I tried to find it there.
Aye. So Eamon's at the game tonight and fucking devastated he wasn't going to see Independiente. They're going to win the league this year.
God bless him.
No won it since I think 2002. But they're sitting second tap. Rosario Central are tap. Boca Juniors, if they beat them, will go second, and Independiente will be third. But fucking on the Independiente.
Good man. Right, before we wrap up, so the 11 players, do you want to guess them?
So, Matt O'Reilly, obviously.
Yes.
Jara.
26 million, number one.
Jara.
Kieran Tierney.
Jota and Kieran Tierney, 2 and 3 on 25 million.
Dembele.
He's not in the list. I need to double
Is he
check.
not? No.
Not in the list.
Well,
No.
Reed
Oh, we're not selling for double
He's not
digits.
18 million.
Edward.
No. Edward's in there number 4. So maybe this list isn't accurate, but Edward's in there number 4. But Dembele would have been younger than Maeda just for the purpose of this nicing up Jason.
Yeah.
I'm sure.
See,
Jason, the truth comes out eventually.
I'm telling you. My mind's scrambled now. I can't think of him.
Right.
Only
so
4. You only got 4 so far.
That's mad. Fucking hell.
Well, according to Wikipedia, the
mentioned
Bally
one.
transfer fee report was 20.
It was
19.7 million.
million. Yeah.
It didn't come up in the search I did earlier.
Dembele's definitely there. Right. So who else have we fucking shifted?
I've mentioned one earlier, and so did Jason.
Go ahead.
Okay.
You better mention it again because we obviously fucking forgot about
it. The next one, number 5 in the list, went to Brentford.
Oh, Adger.
13.5 million.
Right.
The next one, where did he go? Southampton, I think. Yep, Southampton. Before going to Tottenham.
Armstrong.
No.
Victor Wanyama.
Victor Wanyama.
Slick Vic. What a fucking
The next
player.
one, Jason mentioned already. Liverpool legend.
Van Dijk.
Van Dijk, yep. Who's this next one? Kyogo, we mentioned him, 10 million. The next one was not a lover of our Palestinian beliefs.
That fuck Pat.
Oh, fucking Abada.
Abada. Well done, Joe. Yeah.
What do we get for him?
10 million, according to the link I found.
I'd be amazed if we got anywhere near that. Consider him what we got for Giakoumakis.
You need to bear in mind, though, he went to Charlotte. Charlotte is the second biggest financial hub in America next to
I
Wales.
know, but Joe.
You've never said that before.
I know, I've never heard that. Ever.
Big Fraser Forster, we said 10 million as well. And the last one is the wee man who went to Bayer Leverkusen and we're still waiting on a player.
Oh, yes. Fuck me. What's his face? Oh, my days.
Oh, my days.
Oh, fucking
Frimpong.
Frimpong.
Frimpers.
Frimpers.
That
was good. Well done, Longshanks. That was fucking.
There you go. Your quiz and an Isaac all in the same sequence.
It's great that you put so much research into trying to get under Jason's skin.
You destroyed me.
It's
wrap it up, the Super sport.
Right, boys.
Wrap it up, the fuck, Jofus.
I've got kids football in the morning. Fucking head up bed. I was good fun.
Kids.
Fuck them kids, exactly as Michael Jordan said.
Fuck them kids.
I'm up at 6 a.m.
Yeah, me too.
Let's hope Celtic win. Another win. Tough game. I never even fucking spoke about that.
No. Well, we don't make predictions, though.
Nah, we'll talk about it after the fact.
That's what we do. We don't do previews, we do reviews. Right. That's us done, folks. We'll talk to you next week. Hail, hail.
Cheers. Ho.
Bye.
More.